short, tall. He was big, taller than me, rough voice. He knew it.
Oh, I think we're live
We
now.
are live.
We are live. Hello, everybody.
Hey, so Greg, can you turn off your background noise?
Yep.
Please. Thank you. So welcome to the Mrs. Are Relevant Daily Draft Podcast. And this is EpicMock25. This is day 2. We have rounds 2 and 3 coming at you live with the Green Bay Packers on the clock at 6:15 p.m. Eastern, which is in 4 minutes. But before we get the festivities started, we have Greg and Randall on the microphone. Greg, it's good to see you again. How are you?
I'm doing well, Jim. Yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. And I know that, Randall, you work with NBS Media some. So you guys want to introduce NBS Media a little bit and
Yeah, Greg,
kick
hit
this
it.
off?
Sure. TeamNBSmedia.com is our website. It's also our YouTube channel and all that fun sort of stuff. And we cover everything in the world of sports as well as entertainment. So our young friend here, Randall, he writes about the Arkansas Razorbacks and the baseball team and the basketball team. And I, of course, focus more in on the Dallas Cowboys and NFL Draft Central, which will be on for all 3 days of the NFL Draft. So I'll be on the air a whole lot that week.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, NBA, they've been doing shows on Wednesday with Bill Carroll and Jeff Barnes, and those are incredible shows. Bring on great guests, great people who deserve a voice in this draft, which I love the most for sure. They did an HBCU episode last week, and then this week they hit some D2 guys and stuff like that. Just a lot of fun to listen to.
Yeah, well, we had Ricky Correa on from the Cal Bears as well.
That's right.
So it was a very good episode.
Most definitely. What are you hoping out of the Cowboys today? Taking it you're not in control.
Well, seeing as how they went with
plug them. Yeah.
Seeing as how they went with McMillan instead of Emeka Egbuka, who was my number one choice for being the number 2 receiver for the Cowboys. I'm just hoping that TJ picks the running back.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, listen, I love Tat McMillan. He's still my wide receiver too. I know there's some concerns about press man, but realistically, I think he can figure it out to play outside to open up CeeDee Lamb. And then you're right, get yourself a running back, and then that offense is dynamic. And then get some big boys on the defensive line, right? For you?
Either side of the line. Either side.
There you go.
Because I don't care what anybody says. Mozzie Smith is just not good enough as a DT. I'm sorry.
No, he's a round 7 pick swap.
That whole draft 2 years ago from the Cowboys just shook me up to no end with Schoonmaker in the second round and Mozzie in the first. It was just, what in the hell are they thinking?
I know.
And it was Mike McCarthy who made those picks. Good. Guess what? Mr. Schottenheimer is letting Will McClay and his scouts do their picking this year, which is a great thing.
Yeah, that's not what a lot of the national media talk about is who had their hand, because that Mike McCarthy discussion was interesting because a lot of people, it was so funny because last year during the regular season, everybody wanted him out. Then the offseason comes, and then there was that turmoil of he should stay. And that very much confused me. And if any national media just would have been like, well, he has hand in some of the drafting, that's a smoking gun right there.
Well, he and Dan Quinn, of course, had his hand in drafting as well, which led to Kelvin Joseph and Nashawn Wright. And it's like, what in the hell are you guys doing there? I mean, Joseph was a guy with zero character. Two different coaching staffs had no use for the guy, and there you are taking him. And Nashawn Wright is just another horrible pick. So.
Oh, Anthony Russo, yeah. Are we talking inside the mock draft of Tyreek Hill trade? Or are we talking about real life?
No, it looks like this is real. There's some chatter in the Draft Professor group chat that Bill Sparks is checking to see if Tyreek Hill is on the move today. The question would be, what teams have the cap space to absorb that contract.
The Patriots, Commanders,
The Raiders.
Yeah.
And even the Cowboys have enough. But he's not going to Dallas. There's no way.
Yeah, that'd be a bad move on Dallas. I think. I mean, Raiders would make great sense. I would be a little afraid of Tyreek's personality in Las Vegas for a full season, but I mean, Las Vegas, what they restructured I can't remember what player they restructured, opened up like 12 million and then did nothing. So that's money sitting there that I'm not sure what they were using for. So Las Vegas could be a good candidate for it.
Okay.
They could use.
Yeah, excuse me, Randall. So
No,
we are at 6:15 Eastern. So the Packers are officially on the clock, and I saw that the Packers pick is ready, but I haven't had an admin communicate the pick yet. So what do you guys think Green Bay does with their first pick?
Well, it's outside of round 1, so they could actually take a wide receiver here. They actually could.
Yeah.
And who's your best available, Greg?
Luther,
and the pick is in.
Pick is in. Egbuka?
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
All right, Greg. You wanted him on the Dallas. You start him off with a Mecca.
Yeah. He is the best wide receiver 2 in the country. He has been for 3 straight years at Ohio State. He's been playing to the Batman receivers, including Jeremiah Smith this year. He will be a guy who is going to be more consistent for them than Christian Watson has been because of the injury factor. Excellent pick for the Packers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would, other than on probably on the offensive side, I'd say he might have the highest floor out of everybody in this class. He does everything above average. He's a good blocker. He's a good teammate. He's watches tape all the time. I mean, he's a can't miss kind of guy. It's just, I guess that he's going in pick 33 in this mock draft is because people are maybe curious about what his ceiling is. But you take that floor, and with his character, I think you can I think the ceiling is high, the highest wide receiver 2 or potentially wide receiver 1 that you can get.
Yep. I mean, and what we saw go already in the first round here, he makes sense to be the first pick of the second round. Kind of like last year with Keon Coleman, I think was it.
Yeah, that was Buffalo's first pick for sure. All right, well, that was we got New York Giants on the clock next, correct? And they need a whole bunch of needs. So let's see, they went Tyler Warren, tight end, which I did. They moved back in round 1 in this epic mock. They were at number 3. They traded with the Jacksonville Jaguars to go back 2 spaces so Jacksonville could take Travis Hunter. And now they went 5, and I do like their pick at Tyler Warren and tight end. I know that tight ends shouldn't probably go top 5, but with the Giants' sake, I think it's pretty solid for them to use him as an offensive weapon, which they desperately need in a mediocre quarterback room. Gregor, what do you think about that?
Yeah, Warren was a good pick for them. I don't really see the Jacksonville Jaguars moving up in this particular draft that we're going to see, but hey, this is what happened in this. They could go quarterback.
They could certainly go quarterback. I mean, they could go running back early, so then they can complement Tyrone Tracy. They probably need a bruiser because Tyrone Tracy's a little bit smaller and more of that.
They also need more help on their offensive line as well.
They do indeed. They could use a linebacker. I think Giants are ascending in the right direction. I think their record will not portray who they are because the NFC East is going to be very good this year. But I think they're trending in the right direction with their pickups in Adebo and Javon Holland to help that front 7 because last year they, with Lawrence, Thibodeau, and Brian Burns, they created pressure, but then if you didn't get to the quarterback, the DBs were burned. They fixed that problem. Now they, in this mock, they have Tyler Warren. So then start just rounding out your roster. I wouldn't be surprised with a trade back to grab more capital, but let's see what they go with.
Yeah, indeed.
How high do you think they do need linebackers, but they might, he went offensive weapon. How high do you think like Carson Schlesinger should go? Who is your linebacker past Jihad Campbell?
My number 2 linebacker is Schlesinger.
Oh, there you go. And we got the pick. All right, Gray Zabel.
Gray
I
Zabel,
mean,
there's help for the line.
yep,
And
absolutely.
that can be anywhere from a center to a guard to out to tackle. So there you have it, North Dakota State. They needed the help.
Great pick. I mean, North Dakota State's tape, like Gray had it in that North Dakota State tape. He was a powerhouse down up there. And then the Senior Bowl is where everybody really got a good look at him. I think he took the most Senior Bowl one-on-one reps out of everybody, and he did it at every position to get his name out there.
And that's because every defensive player wanted a shot at Gray Zabel, and he said,
Yep.
"Okay, you want me? I'm here, and I'll go toe to toe with anybody," which he did. So
He did.
hey.
Yep. Get that second round money. Good for Gray Zabel. All right, and then we're looking at the Tennessee Titans. Let's see.
We have a trade. The Seattle
There
Seahawks
we
are on the
go.
clock.
Woo! All right. Seattle Seahawks are on the clock. We'll get that trade details in a little bit. Seattle went, if I'm not mistaken, Matthew Golden in the first round. They went Matthew Golden in the first round. So what are we looking at for the Seattle? Why are the Seattle Seahawks trading up is the most important question. Are they going defensive line? Do you think they probably need an edge, right?
I'm not so certain about an edge. I would say that they need more help in their secondary.
Are they looking at Trey Amos right now? Are they jumping up to get Trey Amos? What do you think?
It could be Amos.
That'd make Buffalo fans sad.
Yeah. But they need
Xavier Watts.
They could take Xavier Watts here.
Xavier Watts would be a good pick right here. That'd be very interesting. Yeah, I mean the edges are a little bit weird around here. I do think that they do need an edge, but the edges can get weird. It's kind of like, does a team like them or don't? Because it starts to get volatile, like Princely, and Malin. I have an early second on them, but some people have a third. So it's kind of we're getting into that pick your flavor, right now, Greg.
Oh, exactly. I mean, and this trade kind of surprises me, but hey, this is what this is.
So yeah, Halil is a draft professor. He's got a pretty good board.
He does.
I'm curious what he's doing. He's being aggressive because like Seattle's 2 second-round picks were at the end of the round, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so they still have a second. They still have 2/3. But clearly there's a guy that dropped.
That he wants.
Darius Alexander. Do they need interior? Or is there a pass rusher here?
That's kind of what I'm thinking, is that it might be an interior defensive lineman as well, rather than the edge. Just at this point of the draft.
Yeah, I mean it's what you value. I would put Darius Alexander as the next possible spot. Taking to the defensive line, Buffalo ended up taking Kenneth Grant, and that Philly ended up taking Derek Harmon at pick 32. So good for
which is something I want to ask all of these. I want to ask all these draft guys. You guys knew that Kenneth Grant was going to the Bills, and you let it happen. I don't understand this. What are you guys doing?
Well, honestly, in the war room yesterday, we got nervous that possibly Kansas City could take Kenneth Grant too, because they need a defensive line next to Chris Jones. So that almost played a factor into Kenneth Grant, to be honest. But yeah, all the 29 teams ahead made a small mistake by giving Buffalo pretty much what their defensive line needed to a T.
Yeah.
All right. Seattle, let's see. Who else do we think? I mean, I think Xavier Watts would be a very good pick. They do need to upgrade in tight end. That's probably early. We might see that in the late second with their next pick sort of thing. Because really, I guess the next one would be, who's your tight end 3, Greg?
My tight end 3 is actually going to be here. Oh.
Is it Mason Taylor?
Yeah, Taylor.
Mason Taylor, yeah. Mason Taylor. I think early second might be a little early for Mason Taylor, but I love that. I love it. I love his fluid movement. His route running is very good. He can work on some blocking. He's a little bit on the smaller side, but
he's already grown some. He's already grown some.
Yeah.
He's off the pro day noise for losing weight and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
The anomaly of this year is insane. Arm length and all.
Yep.
Okay. So Halil, your pick needs to be in. We're about to skip you. You traded up. Is your pick in? So, okay. So at this point, Jacksonville, you are on the clock. We are timing Seattle out. So what do you think Jacksonville does here at 36?
All right. Jacksonville first, they went Travis Hunter. They traded up for Travis Hunter, which was great, to be honest with you.
Yep.
They got a wide receiver and a cornerback at the same time. What are you feeling on this one? Are you thinking
They
offensive line?
No, I think they need the DT
I think so too.
because they didn't get Mason Graham like everybody suspects they will in the real draft.
Right.
They need DT.
I agree. Is Darius Alexander your next guy?
Yeah.
I love Darius Alexander. Toledo, he did a lot of things. He goes 0 tech to 5 tech. A lot of people do say they see moments of Chris Jones, and I actually do see it as well. He can anchor well in the run support, and he drives through interior offensive line to create chaos in that pocket.
Yeah.
Okay, I may have the wrong GM. So let's go check my sheet.
Ooh.
I needed to do a check. Somebody was telling me that I had the wrong GM for Seattle. I thought it was Halil.
Lethal.
Oh, it's
Ford.
lethal. It is lethal.
Oh, yeah,
I was wrong.
No worries.
Yeah.
Well, lethal, you have to put in your pick.
Yeah. Now you only have 30 seconds. All right. Who else?
Okay. So Jacksonville, you are on the clock, and
All right,
you will expire at 6:31.
Toriano, my guy, who are you picking? Let's see. They could go. Where are my defensive tackles at? I gotta get my board up so then we can discuss further. Yeah, so I do have Darius Alexander as my defensive tackle 5. Now that I have my board up. I do have Alfred Collins ahead of Darius Alexander, and I know I may be in the minority as my DT4 at him, but I am a big fan of Alfred Collins, and they might want somebody in that run support in that bigger 320 pounds instead of Darius Alexander that plays about 308, but we'll see. Walter Nolan already got picked.
Derek Harmon was already picked.
Yep. Tyler Williams is an option. I think he's a fine early second rounder with his run support and his age. He can most definitely improve his pass rush, being only 21 years old. That's probably
if they want the one move guy, then that's Farmer.
Yeah. I think I have Farmer in the third.
Yeah.
I wonder in the real draft if Buffalo takes him at 62 if we pass on defensive tackle in the first two, which I think they might, but once you get into that second round, you can't really call it a reach or a stretch because there's so much parity on it.
So we're at pick 35. The Seahawks and the Jaguars are on the clock. So lethal, get in your pick for the Seahawks, please, and thank you.
Yep. But no, Jacksonville's on the clock. We're putting Jacksonville on. They have 2 more minutes.
Yep. But if the Seahawks don't,
we may. And I that trade was approved last night, so that trade was there.
Gotcha.
Kind of thing. So, okay, Peter Quinn, you're a Seattle fan. You like Donovan Jackson there? I like it.
Yeah, Donovan Jackson would have made sense for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's fine.
There you go.
Yep.
All right, yeah.
So Peter, stick around. So Peter is our Seahawks fan from Scotland. So you can be the de facto Seattle GM until Lethal comes back in. It's actually interesting because Lethal was begging me to give him a team that had more draft capital, and then he doesn't show up for his pick.
He messaged me yesterday and this morning, so I
Yep.
believe he was aware. But yeah, Donovan Jackson. I mean, arguably one of the best guards in the draft for sure. Greg, what's your thoughts for Seattle?
It's an excellent pick for them.
Yep.
Because
hey, Durst, are you in the chat?
Because
just poke your head in and say hi. There we go, Xavier Watts.
And there he goes. Your guy, Greg, Xavier Watts, safety one
my
for you.
Safety number one. I don't care about Malachi Starks or any of the rest of them. Xavier Watts was number one for me, period. I don't care.
So, I mean, Durst, is Buffalo doing the deal to move up to Minnesota's pick? Just give me a yes, and we'll put Buffalo on the clock, and Randall can announce it.
All right. Well, yeah, I love Xavier Watts. I mean, I love that his breakout year was 2023 as well, and he progressed into it. It wasn't an immediate explosion. You saw flashes in 2022, and then 2023 hit it hard. 2024 and kept it and hit it hard, and that's what I love. That rangy IQ ball hawk. 13 interceptions in 2 years. Love it. He is my safety 2. And I put Emenworry at safety 3. I do love Malachi Starks. I think he's been dynamite since high school, but it's not a far contrast difference for Xavier Watts and Malachi Starks for me. But
there the Bills go with Trey Amos, the corner.
Buffalo made the trade. All right, Trey Amos, cornerback out of Ole Miss. Buffalo has looked at him a bunch. I do actually see resemblance of Tre'Davious White when he came out of college as well, when we drafted him at the 27th pick in 2017 draft. I love Trey Amos. I don't see any much downfall in between zone and man. He passes off defenders in zone coverage very, very well. Goes right to the end of his area to pass him off to make sure there's no in between. He's got long speed to cover in man. He pattern matches. He's a good tackler. I'm not saying he's elite at everything, hence why he's more of a late first rounder, early second rounder in this class. But he does everything above average, and he has more room to grow.
Yep.
And
this is now the Steelers' pick.
Yeah. So Price, did you trade? Oh, okay. So Price, I think you're jumping the gun because. Did I miss Pittsburgh's pick?
I see Pittsburgh's next. And then, I'll talk about Buffalo for a little bit longer. So Buffalo in the war room, we were going between Kenneth Grant and Trey Amos at pick 30. We had a deep discussion about who we were taking. It sided 5-2 in honor of Kenneth Grant because we wanted that defensive tackle. And now we get Trey Amos and Kenneth Grant in one draft, which pretty much solves our 2 biggest needs. I'm not sure what we gave up, but getting 2 first-round quality is okay with me.
And message to TJ, there's no cornerback at 44, okay? It's going to be a running back, TJ. That's who the Cowboys need.
Pittsburgh, okay. It's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh went who first? Let's find that. They
didn't pick anybody. This is their first pick.
Oh, hey-oh.
And okay. This could be the moment for Milroe. We don't know.
Yeah. This should honestly, in the real draft, if the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking at Jalen Milroe, this is how they should operate. Am I right? Trade back out of 21, gain some capital, and then take Jalen Milroe. Don't take Jalen Milroe at 21.
Because guess what? There isn't a single quarterback in this draft that's worth the 5th round option, the 5-year option. There really isn't.
I mean, I tend to agree, to be honest. Maybe Shador. I mean, Shador could be an interesting one.
Maybe
that could be like a 5th round option guy, just like Teeter. And if he takes maybe a year and a half till he starts, sort of thing, then you have that extra year. Cam Ward should be an extension probability by year 4, in my opinion. And then everybody else, I agree. This is also our good friend Will I actually can't say his last name, but Will, and then Accidental Zen on Twitter, which we all love, and
Is it
hosts Draft
Master
the
Zach?
Team.
Is that how he's called?
Greg, you got it?
Will Arcega.
There you go. All right, and then on deck is Mr. Anthony Russo, who I enjoy so much, and
with for just end the season.
Yeah, but and kudos for Anthony yesterday in round one, where he traded back twice and still got his guy in Membao. So that was surgical, if you will. Whoo! And Accidental Zen goes for the home run, who he has talked about, Deion Walker, for the last 3 months, and he has been his standing defense for Deion Walker on his ability. I love Deion Walker as well. He is a big guy. The biggest concern, obviously, is his high pad level that he played consistently in 2024. It wasn't as bad in 2023, in my opinion, and it showed more in 2023 when he amassed, I believe, 43 pressures and had
43 pressures,
and 12 and double-digit sacks, and that's what you're looking for.
And he is another reason why you watch their junior season and their senior season, folks.
Yes, 100%. And he came out saying he had a back issue, which medical doctors came and said that it heals 100% and it shouldn't be an issue in the future. And people were surprised that he actually played with that injury. And when people asked about his injury, he talked about how he didn't want to look lazy, and especially with somebody that size, you're going to think that laziness could play in a factor, right? And his mentality was to play and show what he was capable of, and I love that about Deion Walker.
Yeah. So just end the season. What do you think they're going to do?
So
I don't know. Anthony Russo is trying to avoid that. So he went. Go ahead. Sorry, Jim.
Yeah, so having mocked, Anthony podcasts with us every Saturday. I've done a few mocks with him, and then Draft Professor's partnered with a Jets podcast, so we're providing their draft coverage. If Xavier Watts was on the board, this would have been the pick. I think Watts is the 12th on Anthony's board overall.
I think Darius Alexander would be a great pick to pair him up on that defensive line. A lot of people put Mason Graham in that mock to him at 7. So you go and get a defensive line in the second round. And Darius Alexander is not it's not a mirrored image on that Jets defensive line, but he can make it work and bring that pressure for him. That's my guess.
Yeah, or it could be Collins as well.
Oh, yeah, it could be Collins as well.
So the pick is in.
The pick is in. Apparently, I love Darius Alexander today because he's making me forget Mason Taylor. There you go. As we just talked about.
Well, hey, they didn't get Tyler Warren in round 1, so they and they've got an excellent tight end there.
Yeah, that's where nepotism works, right? He's got a good bloodline. Yeah. Oh, here we go. And Kansas City was ready and pulled the trigger real fast, going with Siobhan Ravel, cornerback from East Carolina. Greg, you want to kick off Siobhan Ravel?
Well, it's Saban. The H is silent.
My bad.
And Mr. Ravel was going to be my corner 1 had he not had an injury this year. So that tells you something. This guy is just a beast. He's an absolute beast. And yeah, he's an excellent pick for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Agreed. I love his range. I love his size, his tackling ability. When you're looking at people, folks from East Carolina and the smaller schools, you're kind of looking for domination, and that's what he did. My only small concern with him, and it's not even the knee, is he plays a little high hipped, but that's not an issue.
No.
When Buffalo
at his size, being high hipped is going to be a natural thing.
For sure, exactly. And then he plays both man and zone very well. And what Buffalo was looking at him as a visit, and what finds me intriguing is I believe he's a great boundary corner, but I think he can be just as good as a rangy nickel. So that versatility with Savan Ravel is great. And I think with Buffalo, if Buffalo were to take him, eventually Teron Johnson will be out. and he would fit well as a boundary corner to start and move into nickel eventually.
No, Will, we don't need to hear your whole pick philosophy. We already know what it is.
I thought,
Well,
were you listening?
So that pick doesn't surprise me, like
No.
having mock drafted with Will a few times.
Yeah.
But if you want to hear Will's explanation, he's going to be on for 6 straight hours tomorrow.
That's right. That's the other reason why I don't want to hear him today.
Yeah. Good point. And we got him flowing. We got Quinshon Judkins going to the Chicago Bears, who desperately also need a running back. Do you have Judkins over Henderson, Greg?
No, I do not.
I do not either, but I do. I think they're about 2 off from me, and I think that's oh wow, look at
that. Bears back to back on the ball. So what is it? The Bear List, I believe, is the name of the podcaster.
The Bear Review, right?
The Bear Review. Thank you. So the Bear Review, definitely thank you for contributing to this. They were one of the first people when I put my tweet out, hey, who wants to do this? They were one of the first podcasters to step up. So just a lot of respect.
Braden Swinson makes more sense than people are giving the man credit for.
Yes.
I was surprised. That the Eagles went to a Big Ten player instead of the SEC guy like Swinson, but okay, that's fine. You guys have to remember who Howie Roseman really is, but that's okay.
True.
Swinson is a very solid edge player, though. He's a very solid edge.
He is. He already has a pass rush. He already has a pass rush plan, which I love. He has good power, even though he's at, I believe, 255 that he plays at. He has good power, has a good bull rush. He stutters bulls. He sets the edge really well for run sport to close that outside, but also can stack and shed. I think I have him as my number 42 to 45 prospect. So this is where I take him, but a lot of people wouldn't. And I personally don't understand it. If anybody's in the chat that is lower for their reason to put it up so we could have a conversation, that'd be great, because I think me and Greg both are kind of loving Swinson. And I think those were a good back-to-back for the Bears.
So Swinson's really polarizing because, like, Josh has a true first-round grade on him. Right. So he's like one of the 16 or 18 guys, true first-round grade, but there's plenty of other people to say you don't touch him until round 3.
I
had like Scott says that
on my draft board. See, you've got Swinson as a 3rd rounder for Scott. That's fine. I've got him as a 1/2, so that means he's not an elite 1st-round pick, but he is good enough to be taken in round 1. But here again, early in round 2, that's just fine.
Yeah, I mean, he has good interviews. He talked about, which I'll try and stop talking about Buffalo, but he talked about doing his 111th on the NFL Combine podium, which I love that sort of thing because that's what you got to do in football. There you go,
Sydney, 1st-round grade.
Yeah, see, everybody's coming together come late April on Swinson.
Look at that.
All right, Chargers take the big boy, Tyleik Williams. I love that. Chargers need a defensive tackle. I think he is the best run stuffer in the draft. He can drop that knee, and he plays incredible in run support. He will anchor himself down, shed somebody off, and just bear hug people. I love Tyleik's. What?
I see the Chargers going to a guy from Ohio State. I don't know. I don't know.
Would he take him from Ohio State, right? Well, I don't know. I mean, Michigan can beat him all the time, so it's more or less like, is it like charity if Harbaugh takes him?
Yeah, exactly. Now this is the Dallas Cowboys selection. TJ, I've said running back.
Look, missed on. They took Judkins early, right?
That's right.
So, Greg, what running backs do you have high enough to take?
Travion Henderson, the Ohio State running back is the obvious choice here. He is.
Yeah, his versatility in the pass and the run game. I love his outside runs. I think once you grow, pick up interior offensive line, he can work on the inside, but that bounce out is one of the best. I mean, he showed it off in the playoffs, and it was a lot of fun to watch him.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then right after that, we have Jay with Indianapolis. Very funny. So with Jay from Indianapolis, he was coming on a Draft Professor podcast, and I had chatted with him on Twitter, but I had never met him. And then it turned out at the combine, he was sitting right in front of Bill Carroll and me. It was hysterical.
That's awesome.
So,
all right, yeah. Well, I mean, while Dallas is hopefully figuring out, yeah,
TJ
he went the first.
Of course he do. He's already gone. But again, this is the epic mock draft. Does Hampton actually go in round 1? We'll see. We'll see.
Man,
But
there are a lot of people that believe that.
I don't see him going as early as Mel Kiper certainly has him, which is the Cowboys at 12. But
that's crazy.
There he is. Travion Henderson is now a Dallas Cowboys running back. And, I feel much better now, TJ. I feel much better.
TJ has been very active with Draft Professor. I think he was at nearly every one of the 32 GM mocks that we did on a Friday. So, TJ, love having you involved. Maybe you've came on one podcast, but I just love your engagement with our channel. So it's awesome to have you here. Like, this is a celebration of everybody that loves the draft. So appreciate you being here. So thank you.
For sure. All right, Greg, who is the top Raz guy for the Colts in the second round? What are we looking at?
Well, that's the Rams wide receiver, Colorado State Rams wide receiver, Torrey Horton.
Torrey Horton.
He's the other 10. He's the other 10 out there, right?
Yeah.
Is he high enough on your board to take in the top 50?
He's close.
Yeah. Okay. He's in my top 100, but I think he's about at 97 or 98. But
do you think Arroyo has a good enough RAS score to be taken this high?
I'm not a huge fan of Arroyo. I'm sorry. I'm just not. He's just
play style or injury concern.
Injury concern.
So what about a defensive tackle with a high RAS that's still on the board?
High RAS is, I'm trying to think who had the high RAS in defensive tackle. Let me pull up.
Because the Colts wide receiver room is pretty loaded. Like when I've talked with Jay before, taking a wide receiver this high doesn't make sense.
No, I was only kidding about Horton because of his 10 score, but
it could be
suggestion.
It could be, even though it may not be a high RAS, you could be looking, because Alfred Collins didn't test that much, but Alfred Collins is a crazy athlete, and that's on tape. He's got 35-inch arms, over 10-inch hands. Like, his metrics alone are pretty insane for a defensive tackle, so that wouldn't be surprising. He went
Darius Alexander.
There you go. And that's a great pick. He's such an athlete. I love Darius Alexander so much. I have a first-round grade on him. I think he's viable in the first round. And just as we talked about, his versatility, generates pressure, great in run support. I'm all for it.
He's another 1-2 player for me. Because I only had 12 guys with first-round grades this year. That's it. That's it.
Fair. It's definitely fair. But yeah, I mean, he did dominate in Toledo, but he did well enough to show the flashes. And then that Senior Bowl, he looked just devastating, and that's when everybody started really gripping onto him.
Now we got the Falcons and the Cardinals. Scott is on the board.
I know Scott's potentially looking at a trade back. I'm not going to say his game plan, but I wonder if his player is in this area anymore.
So he was thinking defensive tackle.
Okay, you're going to ruin the plan.
He was teasing for Buffalo to take Amos so Kenneth Grant would fall. I remember that from yesterday.
Okay, so now that it's out, he had 4 defensive tackles on his brain. Kenneth Grant went, Darius Alexander went, Tyleik Williams went. I think he does love Alfred Collins, but we'll see what happens.
And it's interesting too because there's a lot of people that think that your favorite draft simulator has a defensive tackle dropping to, let's say, pick 60. And here we are, we're not even out of the top 50, and only one of the round 1-2 defensive tackles is available, which is Alfred Collins.
Yep.
Greg, do you have any other defensive tackles in this range, or is Alfred Collins the last one?
Collins is my last choice here. That my other guy is Farmer, which we've already said is a 3rd-round pick. Norman Lott has dropped way down to me because of his knee injury history here.
Yep.
I've got CJ West as a fairly close athlete here as well.
Nice. I really like CJ West. He plays well for like he's athletic for his size. He plays at like 3'8", 318, 316, so a little bit lighter than that 320 area, but he moves just as well as Joshua Farmer.
He actually has he has more pass rush moves than Farmer does.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I have Joshua Farmer after that, but I agree with you that there is a gap after the Alfred Collins. But then after Farmer, I have Jamari Caldwell. I'm very high on Caldwell. I think he is a great nose tackle that has wild twitchiness for his size that can do some pass rush while anchoring down as well.
He's the reason why Harmon was so good this year. But okay, don't tell anybody that, okay?
Yeah. And how Harmon could play more versatile, come out at 5 and stuff like that, because Caldwell could sit in that middle, and then he was able to move around. So he's a sleeper for sure. Oh, I see Blake Meek in the chat. He's got Aeneas Peebles over Collins, Tyleek, Grant, and Farmer. I like Aeneas Peebles' effort. I like his lower body power. I like that he can do nice swim moves on the interior. 6 foot scares me a little bit in the second round to put him ahead of everybody. He's a bowling ball. Virginia Tech as well versus Texas, Ohio State, Michigan.
He's down.
Florida
State. He's down to a 4th-round pick for me. I'm just
same, but I like that call out.
Linebacker off the board.
There we go. Carson Schwarzenegger, as we were talking about over at UCLA, I'm a big fan of as well. He is a do-it-all. He can read and react. He can rush the quarterback. He can drop back into coverage. I don't think there's a lot of all-around guys in the linebacker position in this draft, and he's one of them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
So, Greg, how soon in the draft process, or like at what point was Schlesinger on your radar? Like, was that you didn't get into him until the postseason bowl games, or?
Oh no. Schlesinger was on my list back early October.
Okay.
I watched, I believe, a game or two, and then in December, shout out if Cole Plant is watching, dropped a good nugget in December, and then that's when I started just unleashing on some tape for him.
Yeah, and he's somebody who played at 227 all year, but he was already up 242 at the combine. So
right,
he ate his peanut butter.
Yeah, but great pick by Atlanta for sure. I know that, Scott. I believe, and I apologize, Scott, if I'm wrong, but you were potentially looking at Jihad Campbell at 15 as a potential spot. So you do get Carson Schwarzenegger in the second, which I do enjoy. And then we got next pick. We're waiting on the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals is always a tricky team. I think
this feels like Alfred Collins. What did they do in round 1?
Let me pull that up real quick. Arizona went
Jahdae Barron.
Oh, that's a good pick. God,
that was a good pick, and that was controversial. I think out of all of the picks from yesterday, that was the one that I saw the most Twitter chatter on.
Really?
What do you guys think of Jahdae Barron at 16? Like, where is he on your board?
In this year's draft, everybody needs to stop worrying about where these players are being taken. It is such a deep draft of these guys for 5-6 rounds deep easily this year. And everybody needs to stop worrying about where somebody gets taken.
Greg, where is he on your board?
Barron was my number 2 corner.
And how high?
I had him going anywhere between like where he's picked down to the end of the first round is where I thought he was going to go.
Was he not part of your 12 first round grade?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean,
Will Johnson was my corner 1.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, he's a little undersized, so the boundary is a question. But he played about 75% of his snaps in 2024 on the outside, and it was a little reversed in 2023 and 2022. But
Yep.
I do believe that if a team, like, he's so versatile that where he ends up, you'll probably figure out where they want to put him, sort of thing. And Arizona probably put him on the boundary start, but could put him at nickel with their linebackers needing help as well. But I don't know. I have a question for both Jim and maybe the chat and Greg as well. Darius Robinson will come out. Are we that he needs a partner next to him? Is that correct?
Yep.
Or
Yep.
he needs. Okay, so yeah, Alfred Collins could be definitely in play here. I liked Darius Robinson coming out last year. I was sad that I didn't get to watch him.
Yeah, and like I like Alfred Collins. Like I'll give a shout out to Bill Sparks. I remember early in the draft process where Bill was mocking Alfred Collins at 16 to Arizona. And people would say, wow, you have Collins that high. But yes, we have Collins that high. There's a lot of us that would take, I would take Collins at 30 for Buffalo.
Yeah, I'll give Anthony Russo a shout out too, because I remember he was I think it was November, and he was watching a game and he was talking about batted balls. And that's what was very curious for me. For a 320-pound Alfred Collins had 6 batted balls in 2024, and I was like, I got to see this. And then that's when I started watching him, and that's where I think most of Draft Professor Love started for Alfred Collins.
Okay, so Arizona is about to time out, and Miami is about to become on the clock in 1 minute. So Miami, if your pick is ready, you can go ahead and get it in and jump Arizona.
All right, and then Miami went, let's see, they went Will Campbell, great pick for them at 7, which, sometimes they have Will Campbell going at 4 to New England. I think Will Campbell will start out at tackle or give a shot at tackle and then move him on the inside. You got to find tackles before you can just push him in guard. Am I right, Greg?
Oh, absolutely.
Test him first. If he's a tackle, he's a tackle. If he's not, then he's a guard. But don't not try him at tackle, because then what do you know?
Same applies to Calvin Banks, who was nothing but a left tackle for 4 years at the Texas University. I'm sorry, I just don't buy this movement into the guard position, because the guard action is much quicker than it is coming at the tackle.
Right.
And people don't understand how much faster the guard position is than the tackle position, which it boggles my mind how people do not understand this.
Agreed. Well, unfortunately for Miami, they were missing a safety, and Xavier Watts just went there. I'm not sure that Winston and Makuba would be an appropriate pick this early. Winston, I really love Winston. I'm not concerned about the injuries, but I have a late second on him. But it wouldn't be. We're already at pick 48, so I guess that's all right.
Yep,
but
that's right.
That wouldn't be a bad pick, to be honest. We're flying through this. We're already at pick 48. I thought it was like 30s.
Oh no! See, because the Cowboys have Travion Henderson. That was pick 44. Come on now.
Yeah.
Can you tell that this guy is a Cowboys fan here?
Mm-hmm. Well, Miami needs a lot, and I'm not going to talk much about Miami because it might be in a negative connotation being a Buffalo fan. But I hope that they could go interior offensive line as well. They need a tight end. They could always go an edge opposite of the Penn State gentleman that they got last year, which he was ascending at the end of the year. Why can I not think of his name? But they could go that route. Cornerback and safety is both an option. Losing Javon Holland over New York Giants. Let's see what they go with. Maybe it's a kicker.
I'd really like them to take Chris Paul, so you guys in Buffalo's chat room have nothing to discuss any longer.
That's so rude.
Yes. Hey, I think that is very feasible. Miami does need a linebacker.
They do.
I don't know that I would take Paul in the top 50, but Demetrius Knight.
Yeah.
I like Demetrius Knight. The age probably pushes him into the 3rd round, but man, Demetrius Knight is one of the funnest linebackers to watch. He will just destroy everybody in his sight. Chop Robinson. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah. So is the Arizona Cardinals making their pick or no?
So Arizona hasn't made the pick. Miami is actually about to time out too. So Parker Blake in 1 minute and 30 seconds. You are on the clock for Cincinnati.
There you go. Greg? Who'd you go with at Miami? Right at that pick. Would you go DB?
I would go DB.
Yeah.
Or
I think I
the
would too.
linebacker.
Yeah.
I would. Why don't we just make a consensus pick here for the Cardinals then?
Yep.
Seriously.
We want Alfred Collins.
Alfred Collins to the Cardinals.
Yeah. And now Buffalo is relieved because at 56, when we were talking about one of these defensive tackles, we're going to be available at 56, and that's why we weren't going to take Kenneth Grant. We were massively wrong because he is gone by 47. So that makes me
excited. I said, all the defensive tackles are going in the top 50. If they don't, I'm willing to put money on that.
And I think you're right, Jim and Greg as well, is that there is a line at Alfred Collins. So I think NFL teams understand that as well. So they could be patient and test it, but once you get into that 40s, then it's either do or die.
Okay, and Mebo's gone.
All right, Mark Simbaugh. That was there you go for the Dolphins. That makes sense. Now they're beefing up that interior. Go ahead, Greg.
They've solidified the line with their 2 picks. That was necessary.
Yeah, and Tate Rowledge back to back. There you go. Tate Rowledge, a offensive guard, a right guard that will be playing guard in the NFL, which I do love as well. He pulls well. Tate Ratledge pulls well. He's got some good movement on it. And runs, on the outside runs, he can take him down. Same with M'Bow. M'Bow's a little lighter. He played right tackle at Purdue, but M'Bow in open field can truck people because he ran a 4.9 240, I believe, even though he dropped a little bit of weight, but he's not far off that with that weight added. But he's a truck in the open field.
Yeah.
Okay. Peter, you're up. You can message in the Seattle picks. I think the GM went AWOL.
Yep. So Peter, you go ahead and take whoever you feel like the Seahawks need here.
Hey Greg, where's your board on M'Bow and Ratledge? Do you have one higher than the other, or are they close?
M'Bow I have as a tackle and Ratledge as a guard, right? So
I'm sorry.
Tate Ratledge was my second guard, and Mebo was my tackle 5. So
very nice. There you go. All right, this is the trade back, right? Seattle traded back, and now they're they had a second one in Donovan Jackson. Okay, so they had Donovan Jackson. Now are they going a big guy in the interior?
They could use another interior lineman. Like if you notice, we have a little run. We have a little run going on linemen here, right? So look at, we've had from pick 34 to pick 49. So that's 15 picks. 4 linemen have gone. Greg, who's your best lineman available right now? Is it Connerly? Is it Ursery?
Connerly would be my top tackle. For the interior line, I would have. Let's just see here.
My tackle would be Ursery because I love Ursery, and then Dylan Fairchild in the interior. If we're not talking about any tackle moving in, or Wyatt Milum.
Yeah, Milum I would actually have higher than Fairchild, but
yeah.
How high do you have Fairchild, Greg?
He's my second guy that's left.
Okay. So you have clearly a top 64 grade on him.
Oh yeah, I do. Not many people actually do, but I do.
Right. So Clint Gose and you should have a discussion. You guys both love Fairchild.
Fairchild is my guy that I want to take me out when I'm leaving the club through the back door down the alley in case I'm going to get jumped on. I'm going to have Mr. Fairchild guarding me, kind of like I was with Tevin Jenkins. Fairchild is a mean kid.
Yeah, and then if you have Tate Ratledge on the other side, he's probably friends with the bouncer, so then you're good to go.
Well,
You
yeah.
just walk right out. Yeah.
So, and somebody's also pointing out that Ratledge was taken over Booker. I will point out again, don't just believe the consensus board in your favorite mock draft simulator. Because, like, for example, Greg is pointing out he has Dylan Fairchild in this range. And the only other person I've heard with Fairchild that high is one other person. But there's so many different boards. Don't believe the board on your simulator. That's why we do this. So you can see that, hey, maybe that player will fall, and maybe it shouldn't be a surprise if come 2 weeks from today that Booker is not taken in the top 50.
Yeah. Again, this draft by far, because it's a depth draft.
We've seen all these mock draft boards have Booker going to the Houston Texans.
Right.
At 25. But in the X mock draft, where I dropped down to 35, I was able to take Calvin Banks. And I'm like, huh? Okay.
Right. And I mean, talk about second round cornerbacks and things along those lines. Once you get past that threshold, it is another pick your flavor position. So you can see, you do have no idea. Like Dorian Strong could go super early. It's who that team interviewed well with and what traits they see in those cornerbacks, sort of thing.
And there's Thomas, the cornerback from Florida State, goes to the Seahawks. Good player.
Great. I mean, I love Azariah Thomas. When he ran a 4.56 40, I was a little surprised because one thing I did notice, I understand that he doesn't have the most long speed, but he skates on the field. He moves well. His footwork is fluid. His strides are fluid. He looks really good on it. He's a great press man, great at man coverage. A little dip in the zone, but still can play well in zone. Good length, everything about him. I wouldn't be surprised if Azariah Thomas ends up in the first round, to be honest with you, with the NFL love that he has.
And he does not get to play with his brother, who's a safety for the Cowboys.
Have you heard any rumblings? Have they brought in Azariah Thomas into Dallas?
No, they didn't.
Not yet? Okay.
No.
You need a corner, am I right?
Yeah, but they're
not that early.
Yeah, Savon Rebel has already been brought in, and a couple of others.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So, yes, the H is silent. It's Savon Rebel.
It's good to know. And then once Jalen Noel gets picked, because I learned about 3 weeks ago, Jalen Noel, the wide receiver from Iowa State, his last name is actually Noel.
Noel. Yes, it's
Noel.
It's not.
Yep.
It's not the en français version. Noel. No. Maintenant.
Yeah.
No. But again,
Denver, yeah. Go ahead, Greg. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say here we got the Broncos picking. Who did they go in?
Colston Loveland.
So Lethal wants to change the Seattle pick. So he did message it in, but apparently an admin didn't update.
No worries.
So we'll give
there you go, Kevin Winston.
We'll do this.
All right, Kevin Winston. All right, Kevin Winston is an excellent pick.
Great pick. I'm not concerned about the injuries, to be honest with you. As Scott mentioned, I think it was 700 snaps in 3 years. He does have nicks and bruises. I don't think that the injury that I think they won't admit that they made a business decision to make sure that he's ready to rock and roll for the NFL, but there had to been some sort of conversation had when they shut him down.
That was a decision that they made to shut him down so that he could be ready for everything else afterwards.
Right, which I think is more than fair, to be honest with you. This is a man's career.
Yeah.
Yep. So great pick. I think that he'll be ready. He might be safety 3 in the first quarter of 2025. But if anybody really thinks that he's not going to be able to play at all in 2025, I disagree, and he'll get good reps.
In that Seahawks secondary, yes, he will.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now the Denver Broncos are up. They went Colston Loveland, which was a great pick. Colston Loveland's my tight end 1. I think he's a better blocker than people make out to be. Michigan's quarterback play did not do him any favors on a statistical standpoint, so that was a great pick to start. Where do you think they go here, Greg?
I think they might go. I think they could take. They could take Fairchild here.
They definitely could. Do you think they might go wide receiver?
They might go wide receiver as well.
Well, Colston Loveland's a pass catcher.
Yeah.
But, I mean.
So wide receiver, running back, defensive tackle, possibly
Running-
linebacker.
Running back Caleb Johnson would be is my running back 3. I think he would be a great addition, especially he's got some silky mitts as well for the passing for Sean Payton. There you go. Sean Payton loves running back that can catch. I like his screen game, and he's a bruiser that can still bounce outside. 3 touchdowns against Minnesota. That was a fun game to watch. Great pick.
Now, who do we have? The Tennessee Titans?
Is we got man Drew in a war room now, right? Not talking.
So Drew is pulling like admin duty and like.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's just awesome. So
he's a boss. They went Cam Ward.
Here.
Yeah, Cam Ward went first, which is actually he could win the award because I think that is easily the most predictable pick. So he got that one right. So he's 1 for 1 to start. Tennessee needs a lot. Do you think they maybe go wide receiver here? What do you think that they might go for?
Yeah, I could see them going wide receiver, but who's the pick?
Elijah Arroyo maybe to help out. Oh, Princely Umanmielen. Nice.
Oh, Umanmielen. Nice pick.
Great pick. I have a late first round, early second on Princely Umanmielen. He plays at 255. I think the combine he came at like 248, but he has good speed. He has good IQ when it comes to acknowledging runs, run or pass, and he has decent bend with that power, and he can kind of push through. I think he has he's a 13 sack, 14 QB hit guy.
14 QB hits.
And then I think 12 tackles for loss as well. So you're making 3 to 4 plays behind the line of scrimmage, and that's incredible for an edge in my opinion.
So Tampa Bay went Jalen Walker in the first round. They could go linebacker here. They could go corner.
What would you rather do for him right now in this situation? Corner.
I'd rather they go corner.
Same. And let's see, the last corner that went was Azariah Thomas. You got Trey Amos off.
No, Thomas is still there because he was switched.
Oh, that's right. I think Thomas would be great for the man coverage on top of Tampa Bay for sure. I think that's a lock if Tampa Bay's listening. Eventually, I don't think it's a need for them now, but eventually they probably got to look in the future in a day 3 wide receiver to start understanding that Godwin and Evans don't have an insane amount of time left. And McMillan was a really good addition to them, so they should probably pick up a day 3 guy. But if you want to squeeze in somebody like Jack Besh, that probably fits well with Tampa Bay. I wouldn't be mad at that either. Yeah, I would probably say as long as nobody's concerned about the medicals and that hip, which I believe he's doing a pro day at a high school next week, or was it? I believe they're doing it next week, so you can maybe get a video of video of him maybe at least trying to switch them hips.
Yeah.
So looks like JT's going to milk the clock to see if he can get a deal for people to move up.
I also think that's smart.
Yep. So while we're doing that, we're an hour in. So if you just tuned in, Greg, you want to take a minute, introduce yourself to everybody, and let all of our new viewers know who you are.
Sure. This is Greg Rector at Greg Cowboys on X. And as you can see, Team MBS Media Draft Central. That's basically who I am. And I'm just an old guy that scouts. Just an old guy that scouts.
That scouts and gets voices out to late day guys that deserve a voice in the NFL draft, which is one of the most important things.
Well, that's something that I've always been well aware that teams are actually made in rounds 5, 6, and 7.
100%.
You know, where everybody concentrates on the first top 100 guys, right? No, these players who are drafted after that are just as vital to teams. I'll give you a perfect example. 5th round, Deron Bland. He was supposed to
Christian.
just be he was supposed to be a nickel corner.
Yeah,
Well, guess what? He's played awfully damn well on the boundary.
that's correct. And
So
if you look at Buffalo drafted in the same draft Kyer Elam in the 1st round
yeah,
and Christian Benford in the 6th round.
the
And
6th round.
Christian Benford got his payday while
Yep.
Kyer Elam, which I hope he does well in Dallas. He was great man and zone in Florida State, but Buffalo wasn't the situation for him, and now he's at Dallas. And Christian Benford
Exactly.
got a payday.
Yep.
Yep. And then, I guess I'll plug myself. I at Randall Slifer on Twitter and Blue Sky. You can find me there. I do most of my podcasting with Jim right above with Draft Professors, which I love so much. And I do write, and I've done a podcast or two with Team MBS Media. I talk about Arkansas Razorbacks. I try and talk about some entertainment stuff and Buffalo Bills for sure. And then while we get to and we got the next pick as
Tyler
well.
Booker.
Tyler Booker.
Just give me a minute, because part
Okay.
of this is, if the podcast gets long, this is where I chop it up.
Okay.
So during the commercial, right? So
Okay.
you can follow the channel at NFL Draft Fanatic on X and YouTube. And there's a lot of you watching. Thank you for spending your Friday night with us. The best thank you can do is to hit that subscribe on YouTube. We have daily draft content. So
And the
every
like button.
day-
And the like button.
Yeah. We have content every day on the draft. So round 1 of this draft was yesterday. This is rounds 2 and 3. We are doing rounds 4 through 7 tomorrow night. So if you're enjoying the content, drop a comment, hit a like, and the subscribe is the best way to say thank you. With that being said, Tyler Booker is finally off the board to the Buccaneers. So what do you think, Greg?
Excellent pick. As is the next guy that went off, TJ Sanders. He's another interior defensive lineman that I had rated as a 2nd, 3rd round pick. There he goes in the 2nd round.
Okay, Craig, can you sell me on TJ Sanders in the 2nd round? Because I personally have a late 3, early 4 on him. I think on that defensive line, he was not the weak link, but he didn't show as much as I saw with some of the other guys.
So he didn't have
True.
Jamari Caldwell beside him like Derek Harmon did. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, that's fair.
If he had a stronger nose tackle beside him, TJ Sanders would have had a much better season than what he did. And you look at the end of the season for South Carolina, he was awesome. He was just awesome.
Yeah, he was. I do. I think he can get bullied on the defensive line. I think he can't handle any double teams. I think he kind of gets washed away on those.
TJ Sanders needs to learn that the guy who is coming to attack him is his first priority. The guy who is doing the chipping is a secondary factor. That's one thing that he does need to learn. Yep.
For sure. And there you go. Your guy is gone, and Josh Conerly. I love him as an offensive tackle. We were pretty high. I think a lot of the Twitter was pretty high on him pre-Senior Bowl, and everybody was loving his left tackle ability. And I think
he was the guy that I had added to Jim's list there. If you remember that first show that we did.
I do, yeah, yeah, absolutely, that's true. But I think that Senior
I was
meant
like,
nothing.
Where is he? Where is he? What?
Yeah. I mean, I even like Johnny Cornelius on the right side too. He's obviously not as good as Josh Conerly, but he's a great right tackle as well. If anybody around thinks that Senior Bowl rep against Mike Green meant anything, it does not mean anything at all. He talked about how he was expecting something different, and Mike Green was nothing but, I want to rush through this guy's soul, and he got that. It doesn't mean anything past that. That's
and
not
again,
Josh
he was over on the right hand side, which is not his position. He's a left
Right.
tackle, so don't worry about that nonsense with Conerly.
100%.
Now Thomas goes next to the Vikings. Something that they needed.
Yep, 100%. And as we talked about him, great press man, can do press man well. Man and zone, a little bit more on the man side. Again, that 4.56 speed doesn't really show that insane to me on tape. He's fluid mover, good hips. I love him.
Is that the Vikings' first pick?
Yeah, actually that is, because they traded
Yeah.
out of round 1 to early round 2. Then they traded out of early round 2 with Buffalo. So their first pick was at 56. But they have another pick coming right up.
At
There you go.
62. At 62, and then again at 68 in the third round, right?
Yeah,
You're correct.
I like that run. That's a good run.
Yep.
We got the
And
Panthers.
Okay,
that's
so
dirt.
you've got your cornerback. You need a safety, Minnesota. Harrison Smith, a great man from Notre Dame, is way too old to survive an entire 17-game season. He's still there, but yeah, you guys need a safety.
Yeah, and I really like Makuba. Would you take Makuba here, or is there somebody else that you'd take?
As far as the safety goes,
Right. If they have those 3 picks, I'm not saying like right now, but they have the next couple picks coming. Would you take Makuba there, or would you wait maybe until if they have a round 4?
let me just see here.
Because like I'm a big fan of like Caleb Ransaw and like Jonas Sanker. I think they're great value 4th rounders sort of thing,
Well,
and 4th and 5th. And I don't know if I'd go safety right here.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they are going to take the safety here at this position, but if there was a guy, it would be Ransom or Sanker from Virginia. Sanker is just he's an everything safety.
Yeah, he's
an
smart.
everything safety.
He's an everything safety. He's smart. He knows when to come down, when to pull back. He communicates with the defensive backs. He's a great tackler. I think he has like 5%
as Bill Carroll often says, he's the first minister in the Sankerite church now.
Yeah, I might ask to be a part of that church.
So, Randall,
All
can you do the next pick, because we don't need Bill talking about a Michigan player. Or Bill, we don't need Greg talking about a Michigan player.
All right. From the school, I'll at least endear them. And from the school up north, the Carolina Panthers take Josiah Stewart edge. I really like Josiah Stewart. I think he's a good change of pace. Like he's a different style edge when it comes to his size. He's limited. I think he's 240, played at 244, 6'2", 6'2".
He's up to 251 currently, but
251. I like Josiah Stewart. He wins with speed and is able to use his speed in other moves. If he's going to bull rush, he'll get his explosive first step. Basically, he can get to the tackles before they're setting themselves, which then gains leverage, and then he can bend around. His speed is insane. He's actually going exactly where I figured he would. 100%. That's like right where his market is for me as well. But I really like his speed. He's still decent in run support. He's not great in run support due to his size and setting the edge, but his pass rush is fun to watch. He's a fun watch.
He's a third down pass rushing, and that's it.
So
because he does not understand how to stop the running game at this point.
Right.
So have you guys noticed a trend with how round 2 is going, with like either a position that has or hasn't been taken? Because I have. There it is. There's the second wide receiver off the board.
Yeah.
And
the Texans get him.
I was curious if Baltimore was targeting a position because they were trying to move up. And I was trying to say, like, who's dropping? And it was Higgins.
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's who Baltimore was targeting, because they were trying to move up, but they couldn't find a trade partner.
Higgins is a nice choice for the Houston Texans, but I think they missed the boat because the TCU receiver Jack Besh is there, and Jack Besh is going to go to Houston in reality versus Jaden Higgins.
Why do you say that?
Because Nico Collins is already there, right?
Yeah. So Jaden Higgins would have to be more of that short and intermediate to open up for Nico Collins, which is fine because Jaden Higgins for 6'4" is twitchy, and he's impressive. His slants, for 6'4", it doesn't look like he can pull a slant like that.
Jack Besh answers the call for Nico Collins.
Right. Yeah,
that's just the way that I look at this draft. Higgins is an excellent pick for them, but again, you've already got Nico Collins.
Jack Bash Right. Jack Bash would do to Nico Collins what Amika Buka would do for CD Lamb.
Exactly. He would be the Robin to his Batman.
For sure. I agree. But again, Jaden Higgins is my wide receiver 5. So I love everything about Jaden Higgins. He plays outside. He's a burner, so he can win in press man and separate that way, as well as those short and intermediate. I can't talk more about his slants. His slants are crazy for 6'4". Like,
Yeah.
incredible for 6'4". I love it.
And JT just went to the Ravens, which is an excellent pick because he's much better than Jack Sawyer. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think Jim, are you giving up on his last name? Tulamala?
No, I'm gonna figure out how to spell it, and I'm updating the available player list.
Yeah.
While I'm over here.
I'm just kidding, John. I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's okay. I can take it. You can tease. I'm good.
JT Tuamala, I very much agree. Way better than Jack Sawyer. He's got good weight to him. Plays at 265, 268, and he's a powerful edge on that side. Has a little bit of bend to him, so he can work around that tackle without getting pushed in.
Look who got double teamed on all those Ohio State Buckeyes rushes. It was JT.
Yep. Yeah, he is somebody who I do have right around that late 50s, early 60s. That could be interesting for Buffalo at 62 if we don't do what we did here. But I love everything about him. I think he's ascending, and I think the NFL is where he will ascend.
Well, guess what? He was taken at the exact slot I had him at 59.
For sure. I think it's hard. It's always hard to gauge because this year, especially when people, folks like us, the draft fanatics and things along those lines, is looking at teams like Ohio State, South Carolina, and Oregon having such solid defense, and then figuring out if your team went there, who you're looking at. Because I believe Buffalo, the number one scouted school, was Ohio State, but who is it? They have like 15 prospects.
Yep.
I got to make sure I go to the right tab so people see the correct draft. There we go. So, Greg, you're actually, I don't know that the Lions GM is here. So,
okay.
You want to make the admin Lions pick in round 1?
Lions took Nick Scourton, edge. Great pick.
Yeah. And that was an admin pick too. So.
Okay, so.
Let's see.
Is this Fairchild? They need interior line.
They need one interior. They need one interior guy. The rest of their line is all under contract until 2027. They lost what's his face. So yeah, let's go Dylan Fairchild for them.
All right. I was going to either say that or cornerback, but let's hit it.
Yeah, no, I want to see that Lions O-line be as tough as possible because I don't like the Vikings. I certainly don't like the Packers and the Bears. Well, they're just the Bears, right? That's
Detroit can have their Super Bowl after Buffalo's, and then I'm good with that. I root for Detroit as long as we get one first.
So Philly just moved up, so somebody's dropping.
Ooh, and it's David. David, what are you cooking? Let's see. I got to get in David's brain. So he took Derek Harmon at the 32, which was a great pick. Whoa. They cleaned up their line. Offensive tackle might be more like a day 3.
It's an edge.
Edge. It's got to be an edge, right? So JTT just went. Swinton's gone. I'm trying to think.
Let's look here.
It can't be APR because he's such a Virginia Tech fan, but that's too early. Let's see.
Don't forget, I drafted APR real early as well.
Did you? No, Antoine Powell-Ryland is a dynamic player. I believe a little undersized, but
I think Landon Jackson from the SEC might be an option here.
There you go. That's it.
Landon Jackson.
Good call, Greg. How did I forget about Landon Jackson?
I don't understand how you forgot about him since you live in Fayetteville.
I think I plugged him into the Buffalo Bills draft in the real one in my head the whole time. So he's just he's not available to anybody else. But if Philadelphia does take him, I am a big fan of Landon Jackson. He was close to a 10 RAS, super long arms, 6'6", 275, 280. He definitely needs to learn more in his pass rush. He kind of just goes to a cross chop a lot. He should work more on like a stutter bull rush or a bull rush to make sure he's consistently doing that and get some lateral movement. He doesn't have any bend, and he thinks he has bend, but he just doesn't. He's a big guy, so don't think that you can bend when you can't. And a lot of people saw it at the, yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay, hold on. I gotta call BS. Bill Sparks, didn't you trade your 2026 second yesterday, and then you just traded it again today?
Ruh-roh. Greg, go ahead.
So,
Well, I was
anyways,
just about to say this is supposed to be the Commander's pick, is it not?
correct.
Oh wait, did Philadelphia not trade for him?
Well, no, Philly traded up to this pick right here.
Oh, okay. I
okay.
apologize. I thought they were switching out right there. So yeah,
All
okay. So Commander's still on the clock.
All
So
right,
they
and
needed-
who did they go with first here?
Let me see.
They went Walter Nolan.
Ooh,
Okay.
So they got their defensive tackles. That was good. That was a good grab.
They need offensive line.
They definitely need offensive
And they
line
need
to
an
help
edge.
out.
Oh, look
Yeah.
at that. The pick is in.
Trey Harris. I mean, they could use a wide receiver.
Yep. But okay,
It's-
that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
That is the HTTR team that I always refer to as the
yeah.
hail to Tony Romo. Oh, what?
That's so rude.
Well, it's either that or they were the Deadskins. That was the other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my neighbors called them the Deadskins that were Cowboys fans. But yeah, I mean Trey Harris is very polarizing because I believe there's a Trey Harris cult, and I'm not saying that it's a bad thing at all. I'm not in that cult personally. I think Ole Miss, the way they run their offense, he couldn't really expand his route tree. I believe,
Yeah.
he was a 5.12 yards per route run, so he was kind of a merchant in that category, which is fine. And then his yards after the catch per reception were, I believe, in the 9s. But to be honest, that was also a merchant on very soft coverage and quick wide receiver screens. He can do a lot with the ball in his hands, and I do love that about him. And I do think he's going to be a good NFL wide receiver. And I would say that probably 61 is a good pick for him. But some people have him in the early 2s, and it's too early for me.
So to me, this is Minnesota. This should be either Sanker or Luther Ransom.
I love
running back. I can see this being running back, and we haven't seen Ursery go, and we're at the end of round 2.
Yeah, I love Ursery, so I'll talk about him when he gets picked. I'm surprised I have Ursery as an early 2. He's one of my favorite left tackles. Reminds me a lot of
I
John
think
Dawson.
Ursery goes in the next 3 picks because if he drops to Kansas City, that's such a Chiefs thing. I don't know what Price thinks, but I can see Ursery as a Chief. I could see Ursery being a Lane Johnson replacement, and then the double dip back to get Landon Jackson in there. I know. I can see a couple of specific players going in this range right here to some Super Bowl caliber teams.
Yeah, if Price is in the chat, I know that he has tackle requirements in Kansas City, and I can't remember if it's potentially 33 or 33.5-inch arms is what Kansas City takes, but he's got under 33.5-inch arms, and I can't remember what Price said. I know that there is arm length requirements for tackles in Kansas City. Oh, Upton Stout is a really good safety. That is
Well, but we're going to talk size. Philly is trading their what?
Yeah,
no,
I think that was a joke.
I had it wrong. Cleveland traded their round 2 pick next year to move up into round 1. They just recouped the round 2 pick because Philly traded it to move up here. So I got it now.
Okay.
That is confusing.
So at the end of round 2, right now, as we're waiting for Minnesota to get their trades going.
There's Jonah.
So who are your best available right now, Randall, sitting at the end of round 2? Like, give 3 or 4 guys.
For sure. One is Arante Ursery, for sure. He's my offensive tackle 4, I believe. And then we'll dip into the wide receivers real quick because I think there's a lot of people missing. I don't believe Alec Iomanner has been picked yet, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
He's great true X that there's a lot of big wide receivers in this draft, but a lot of them can't play outside X, in my opinion. Alec Iomanner can. Jaden Higgins' running mate, Jalen Knoll, who I've talked about, I have a second round grade on him. I think his route running is incredible. His deceleration, I think, is the best in this class. I love him as well.
Bash.
Jack Besh as well. I've been on Jack Besh since October as well. And then let's see. In the edges,
Landon Jackson.
Landon Jackson. Landon Jackson would probably be in the edge. I know Femi Oladejo is getting some hype. I'm curious to see where he goes. So I'm not saying that he might be best value, but I'm curious if somebody takes him in this area because his stock has been rising like crazy. Greg, how about you? Who's your guys?
Let's go. Well, I've got Landon Jackson certainly sitting there as well. Let's see who else.
Demetrius Knight would probably be an appropriate right around here for me. I'd be good with that as well.
I also have another running back here. Dylan Sampson from Tennessee is in this range.
Yeah, for sure. He had only 2 games that didn't break 100 yards last year. He's elusive.
Yep.
Wasn't enough to beat the Razorbacks though.
No, it wasn't. No.
Yeah. Our greatest accomplishment of 2024 for sure.
Yes.
Benjamin Morrison, and I
Benjamin
don't believe
Morrison Benjamin Morrison has not been taken.
Maxwell Hairston is still here.
Yeah, Hairston. I'm not as big a fan on Hairston as everybody else is. I'm just not.
I'm not either. That was a group thinking comment for me, to be honest with you, because a lot of people there's a couple of Buffalo podcasters that think he's a first round pick, which I think that's fair. I'm not the best cornerback analyzer out there, sort of thing. So I don't put those opinions down, but I'm also a little concerned with the character concerns that the message that came out looked real with evidence on it. And I agree with Philadelphia's stance, as David has said over, violence on women, you take off the board.
Bingo.
Yep. And then, when we talk about cornerbacks, we're getting into some niche ones too that's super interesting. Darian Porter has been mocked in the late second round. He is probably the highest upside cornerback if somebody's going to take him in this area. And then, there you go. Minnesota went Jonah Savanea. I think this is Bill's guy. Bill has him in the top 3 tackles, if I'm not mistaken. I'm a big fan. A true right tackle that is willing to move into guard. I really did love his comments. I know people may be up and down on his comments when somebody asked him if he's willing to play guard. And I loved it because all he said was, this was post-Senior Bowl, post-Combine. He said, I just want to put my hands through somebody's chest, whether it be tackle or guard. I just want to do that. And I love that attitude.
Price is taking his time here.
Oh, there he goes. Chiefs are taking Landon Jackson.
There it is.
And I am sad that I have to root for Landon Jackson and Kansas City. But great pick, great edge. As we talked about, just hopefully Kansas City D-line, which I'm sure Chris Jones, being a great veteran, kind of teaching him about his pass rush skills, how he uses them. It's probably kind of how Landon Jackson should come on the outside as well. And just don't try and bend around the tackle. Use your talents and athleticism a different way.
Well, it's kind of like the Mockapalooza I did a couple years ago, Jim. When you remember, I took Karlaftis and Sky Moore, and I had Brett Veach on my mind when we did that Mockapalooza because I nailed.
No kidding.
One after the other. It was just hot. It was hilarious. Trent McDuffie, and I just had them all right.
That's awesome.
They've done Revel and Landon Jackson. So here's the funny thing, Price. As Buffalo was building its mock draft strategy, those were like 2 guys that we had on our radar too, and you took them in the exact range that we had them pegged. Like I had Landon Jackson as like pick 56 or pick 62, and that's where you took him. You had Revel high in the second round, and that's about where I was suggesting he would be taken too. So sometimes I like to be validated. So Price, you validated me, and that makes me feel good. So.
All right, so it's those Kelly Green guys, those other guys that I don't like in the NFC East. Let's see where they go.
Yep. So David, I'm thinking Ursery, but they also need an edge, possibly corner.
I think it's edge personally, but Landon Jackson did go off the board. So if we're looking at
and then
edge,
Arroyo is here, and the Eagles do need a project tight end.
I will say though, if they're looking at a tight end, I believe that they might be looking at Harold Fannin.
Yep.
Because if I'm not mistaken, the Bowling Green's coach is now an assistant coach over at Philadelphia. Am I correct?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So there you go. I think he's a quarterback coach now. He's going to plug in Harold Fannin, and I know a lot of people are lower on him, but I think he's got it. I think he's a better blocker than a lot of people are coming out, and I think there's more athleticism to him. I know he didn't have the greatest Senior Bowl or combine, but his tape is much different. Much different.
Yeah, but there's another player who you needed to watch in 2023 versus 2024.
Yes.
Hey, so the rumor apparently is that the player being moved in Miami is actually Jalen Ramsey, not
Really?
Tyreek Hill. So
they're just not going to have any safeties? What's their safety room?
Is Ramsey a safety or a slot corner?
He's a corner.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was a corner. Boundary or slot, Greg?
Why did I think he was a safety?
He could play either. Yeah, but again, he's getting older. He's getting older now, so he should be more of the inside corner these days than
for sure
on the outside. But
there you go. And Philadelphia takes Femi Oladejo that we just talked about. And he goes here. That's where that hype is, sort of thing. I like Femi Oladejo. He is new to the edge position because he was a linebacker moving into the edge. So I like that versatility of dropping back in coverage. And he already has a good pass rush foundation.
Yes, so he does.
His pass rush upside is insane. So somebody like Philadelphia taking him, they don't have to rush him into production. They can develop him, make sure he's comfortable. 2026, probably just going to take it off the chart sort of thing.
Yeah. And the other tight end that I really like that most people aren't as high on is the UCLA tight end as well.
Maliki Matavayo.
Matavayo is somebody that
yeah, he's got a shoulder shrug at the stem. He can move.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. All right, New York Giants are up. So the New York Giants, again, where I'm rooting for you because I want to be right in my take that the New York Giants will be good and decent in 2025. So who do they need to go for? Is it wide receiver right now? Who did they go previously?
You know who they should go for is Oronde Gadsden II because he can be a much better receiving tight end than Theo Johnson is.
It's Ursery. They need a tackle, don't they?
Yeah. They took Tyler Warren in the fifth pick. So they're good.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So they did have Warren. Ursery would be a fine pick for them.
Yeah. Take a quarterback.
Yep. You take Jalen Milroe.
Yeah.
He's all yours.
You can take Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart is more of a
already went. He went.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah, Dart went to New Orleans at the end of round 1.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I was in the Bills war room, so I didn't catch the final picks. Tyler Shuck, that could obviously be one as well. They went who'd they go second? I do think that they need a wide receiver to help out Malik Neighbors, especially with Tyler Warren. I think that would open up the offense. They could go linebacker. They could go Demetrius Knight here. That could really round out their defense and a heavy hitter for the Giants. I think that would be a great pick.
Until those midgets move out of that horrible stadium, I don't care.
Oh, because the stadium in general. I get it.
Yeah.
That's curious. I read an article today about how they're trying to make it a European division sort of thing. And if they could somehow figure out how to do relegation in NFL football, I'd be over the moon, hysterically funny.
Well, I said to you that one time we were in the Team MBS room that you and the Vikings, who both have 4 straight Super Bowl losses. If you
Oh, yeah,
lose the
thanks.
5th, you're out.
Yeah.
You're out.
Yeah. That's okay. I'm out. I don't want relegation anymore.
Oh, okay.
All right, next pick,
Shamar
Shamar Turner. Shamar Turner.
Um,
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I have Shamar in the 4th. He's plays at like 298, 301 sort of thing. So he's a little bit on the smaller side, but can kind of buzz through. I'm curious about flags. Obviously the uppercut is a video that's been going around, but he also hits late, and NFL is softer than college. And some of those late hits that I saw definitely scared me a little bit for flags
And
in the NFL.
there goes my Canadian receiver.
Yeah. And
And
Kansas City is having a draft.
they're having a very good draft.
Yep. Great pick, Price. Alec Iman, again, outside X, they don't have a lot of height in general, so that brings height. True X. I mean, Alec Iman at Stanford had a bad offensive scheme and a bad quarterback and still pulled almost 1,000 yards, if I'm not mistaken. So kudos to Price on those 2 picks.
So, Hey, Elliot. So, Elliot, one of my oldest friends that lives in D.C. So, Seattle has taken Matthew Golden, wide receiver from Texas, Donovan Jackson, guard from Ohio State, Kevin Winston, safety from Penn State. So that looks pretty good, and we're about to start round 3, where Seattle has at least 2 more picks in this.
All right. And then there goes Alec Iman. Oh, we got the Eagles back in action, huh? And they went Femi Oladejo next. So, I mean, what does a luxury team really need anymore, Greg? Should they just trade out for 2026 picks and just keep that rotating?
No.
What do they need here? What do they need here?
I think they should just go wide receiver and blow the doors off of teams and take Jack Besh here.
Yeah,
I think it'd be Savion Williams.
You want to use him as a gadget?
I think Savion Williams to Philadelphia, like, there might be 10 teams that I could list him for, but like, I would like him here because they could use him as a running back. They could use him at the slot, right? They can move him around. And because Philly has 2 really good wide receivers, he doesn't need to play a definitive role, and he could kind of find his way.
I think that's fair. I do side with Drew and Savion Williams that I think he works well. I think he can be an X. I think he can play outside on a consistent basis. So Philadelphia could use him lightly, and then possibly if A.J. Brown's out, I'm not saying that he's anything close to A.J. Brown, but then he could move outside if A.J. Brown eventually somehow goes out the door or years pass and the contract's up. So that is an option. I do agree with that.
Yeah. Patrick Peterson is going to retire on Monday with the Cardinals.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Interesting. He was trade blocked all last year, too, at the trade deadline. That's interesting. But, I mean, good for him. An incredible player. So much fun to watch. Just everywhere on the field. Hit hard, stay in the back, whatever he did, sort of thing. I love that. I wonder if Philly goes safety here? Or no?
Why? Blankenship and Brown are already there. They're good at safety.
But this is a day 2 pick. I don't know that Howie Roseman does safety or linebacker or running back on day 2.
Gotcha.
To me, this would be a premium position. Why is Ursary falling? Like, I don't think he's going to fall past 69. I know Will really likes him.
Ursary is a guy who just doesn't jump off the page at people.
But he's sound.
I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I'm just saying he doesn't jump off the page as the tackle that people want to see, and that's just the luck of being a Golden Gopher, I think.
Yeah, Minnesota. But I believe Ursary. I love Ursary. I think he's a great tackle. I think he moves well.
No.
There.
No.
David. David.
you're a bad man, David, because you took the best left tackle in this class, Charles Grant from William and Mary.
Talk about him, Greg.
Oh, okay. I don't care that he didn't play against the big schools. I don't care. But you watch that man play left tackle. His movement, his skill is so good. His arm length is just fine too, even though I don't really care about arm length as a tackle, like everybody else is so high on. But again, Charles Grant is a superb left tackle, and don't move him into guard, please.
Agreed. I think he is a tackle as well. He moves like he's fast if he pulls across the line and the right pulling. I mean, William and Mary did that a lot. They pulled him across the line for runs all the time, and he did very well in that category. He blocked well. He created holes. I believe he is a tackle as well, and he's a great pick. David knows his stuff right there. Picking Charles Grant. We appreciate you there.
Yeah, and let's give David a shout out too. So David is a really cool draft website, everybody. And David, if you are listening and you can remind me what that URL is, you know how to get a hold of me either in the chat or on the thing. Let's PR David's website a little bit. So David, when I was creating Draft Professors, David was one of the first 4 people I reached out to. I've been following him for draft content for years. And he has a draft website with the analytics of like Greg, if you wanted to look at the Dallas Cowboys, let's say the last 4 drafts, he'll have it analyzed to tell you, do they take premium positions? What is their GM's like positional tendencies in the draft, like high or late and things like that. He's done a lot of research. It's a really, really good website. So I definitely want to give David's website a shout out there.
For everybody who thinks Jerry Jones makes any decisions at the draft, they're crazy because it has been the coaching staff of Dan Quinn until he left for Washington and Mike McCarthy who were making most of the draft decisions, which is stupid. NFL coaches, if you're a good coach, you should be able to coach anybody in the world. Not somebody who fits your scheme. Your scheme is a bunch of BS, and Schottenheimer has said so. He does not have a scheme set for the Cowboys. Yes, he wants to run the football, but he does not know exactly how he wants it done as of now because he has not had the players out on the field. And that's a smart coach.
Yeah, and actually a very good pick in my eyes for Miami is Savion Williams.
Bingo.
Now, yeah, that's a great one because, Tyreek Hill has that gadget in him, and he's, getting old. We don't know what's going to happen with Tyreek Williams, but that is a great gadget replacement, but as well as playing outside. So I think Miami can use him in any way. I think he's good in his slants for timing in Tua because you need good timing on that. He's quick enough for the good timing for Tua.
Well, they also got rid of Raheem Mostert this offseason.
Oh, yeah.
And, Savion takes the ball from the backfield as well. So
Yep. Good point.
So I also want to give a shout out to the Dolphins podcasters. So last year at this time, somebody was putting together a mock draft and I bumped into a Miami fan. They didn't know I was a Bills fan. And they invited me into their Discord. So I'm in their Discord chatting up the draft with the Dolphins people. And then they joined a Draft Professor podcast and they found out I was a Bills fan.
Did they kick you out, or are you still in it?
I am still in their Discord.
See, I will say, so I've gone to a handful of away stadiums, and I've been to Miami and I've been to Kansas City. And even though those are rivals, some of the nicest fan bases that I have dealt with, I'm not talking about on a holistic standpoint, but Miami was an incredible fan base when we went there to watch them. Mind you, Buffalo was in their drought, so Miami was close to beating them, sort of thing. And then Kansas City, I went to the AFC Championship. The fans were incredible, so kudos to them as well. So,
here's Will with another pick. This ought to be a dandy.
He could have got Deion Walker here.
He could have gotten Deion Walker, but no, he went early with Deion.
Will, I'm just kidding. I like Deion Walker.
Yes. Yes.
What do you think he goes here? What is Will feeling? You know Will more than I do.
This could be Milrow.
Could be Milrow. What about running back? Do you think they need somebody to complement Jalen Warren?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And are we?
Who's
And
your best available running back, Greg?
Well, for Will, it's Damian Martinez.
Damian Martinez would be the guy that he would want. Although I've got Dylan Sampson rated quite a bit higher.
Yeah, I believe that's his running back too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Jacksonville thinks that Pittsburgh's about to snipe their guy. Pittsburgh also needs a corner. So like Noel Williams is available. Jacob Parrish is available.
Darian Porter's available.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good ones. There's a lot
Kobe
of good
Bryant
ones
is still there. There's
Kobe
a whole
Bryant.
There's a whole whack of corners still available.
Kobe Bryant's fun.
But yes, folks who are watching this tonight, you've seen the defensive tackle class move heavily, and that is going to happen at this draft.
And there we go. Arante Ursary is off the board. That also makes sense because Will does love him as well. That's a great pickup. I think he has one of the best snatch and traps in this class for sure. He already kind of almost perfected the snatch and trap, and that's obviously my favorite thing. When he does it, he reminds me of Deion Dawkins, and that's why he's my offensive tackle 4. I think he moves well. Great pick, Will. Thank you for taking him.
And now we got the Jaguars.
What did they do? Let's circle back. They went, moved up, got Travis Hunter, great job, and then they went Xavier Watts, great pick.
Yeah.
And is that it for them?
That's it.
Then they just took Jalen Noel, wide receiver.
Jalen Noel. Okay.
Noel. I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding, Jim. Well, a little bit.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Jalen Noel, I'm super high on Jalen Noel. He is my wide receiver 6 after his partner, Jaden Higgins. And I love the way he moves. Again, best deceleration in the class. His 10-yard is very fast, and he can stop on a dime. He moves inside well. If Buffalo were to take him, which I was kind of hoping, but I think that's lost, put him in trip sets because he is a little bit undersized to keep him clean, and he has 4.37 speed, so he can burn you on the outside, can burn you on the inside. I love everything about him. Greg, are you feeling the same, or are you different on Jalen Noel?
No, you have the exact same numbers as I do. As our 2 draft boards are very similar, right? I mean, there's okay. Yeah, that's the guy I've got there too. Yeah, that guy I've got there. It's very similar. So yeah.
Yeah.
Saints just got sniped. The Saints wanted Noel.
There you go. Hey, there's plenty of there hasn't been a wide receiver run though. You can find yourself a good wide receiver. Don't not get a wide receiver because Jalen Noel went. But I feel for
really
you.
You've got Jackson. They've got Jackson Dart. They've got Rattler and whoever else is going to be at quarterback because Carr's got his shoulder injury. This is a perfect spot for Jack Besh. I'm sorry.
It is.
Right. And one of the things I wanted to point out, right, we had a huge stretch where Ibuka went in round 1, and then we had a lot of picks until Higgins went late round 2, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if we look at the wide receivers and where they went, like, this is something that I'm kind of fascinated with because the wide receivers are basically like, that's 25 picks. We went 25 picks without a wide receiver. And
That's
then from
crazy.
58 to 70, so in a span of 12 picks, 5 or 6 wide receivers went. And we still, and like you guys are saying, there's still some really good wide receivers out there that some people might say they should go in round 2.
Yep.
So
yeah, like
I've
I've taken Jack Besh at 44 for the Cowboys because, of course, in that particular draft they already had Ashton Genty fall to them. Oh, okay, and whenever Ashton Genty falls, well, that means Ibuka and all those other guys are out of the picture for the Cowboys. Jack Besh was going at 44 for the Cowboys to me.
Yeah, I think if you guys got Genty and then Besh in the first 2, I think that would be prime time. But I think Jack Besh is the best wide receiver available. You could, if you're a Jalen Royals fan, you can talk about that. If you're a Xavier Restrepo fan, you can talk about that. His 40 is not who he is. If you look, just like just like Restrepo and Tez Johnson, right? Everybody was disappointed in Tez Johnson's 40 speed, which I do believe his tape is faster, but then elite agility, and that's the players that they are.
Yeah. And again, everybody focuses in on the 40 times at the combines and their pro days and stuff. I don't. I watch film. When you see these guys on the field, you can tell their true speed.
For sure. Ty Felton's still available. Talk about
Ty
that.
Felton is available.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a ton of wide receiver, and even his teammate Prather.
Yep. Came Prather. That was a good one. Yeah. He was hot early. He was hot early in 2024, and he drifted a little bit away, but I still like his game.
Yeah.
Who was the wide receiver that just visited Buffalo?
Which one? Keandre Lambert-Smith or Jalen Royals?
Royals. There we go.
Royals.
So this is the range for Royals too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's a ton of guys who'd be going at this level.
Don't say it insanely loud.
Like
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No. Let's bring that conversation. So we had a Buffalo Bills war room meeting before this podcast started because I wanted to give my opinions, and it's difficult. So one of the things I said is, when we traded 2 seconds to move all the way up to the top of round 2, and that's kind of a steep trade, but we have a true first round grade on Amos.
Yep.
You got to go up and get him. Right, BPA type philosophy, right?
100%.
And I said, you can be patient because some of these guys, like if there's 4 wide receivers you like, all 4 aren't going to drop to round 4.
Right.
But one of them probably will.
For sure.
Buffalo in this draft has 2 really early picks in round 4 now. I don't know if they're about to trade them and move up, but they have 3 round 4 picks and a bunch of other day 3 picks as well. So
and see, I'm not seeing any movement out of TJ as far as trying to get us into the 4th round either as of yet. So there's a particular position that I want addressed, TJ. I think you know what it is, but
yeah, I think I know who you're going for, Greg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Saints, we talked about corner, right? Talking about corner. Are we talking
well, oh no, we're talking the DT. We're talking
Oh,
DT.
no. I know for Dallas. I'm talking about who's up next. New Orleans Saints. We know who's defensive tackle for Cowboys. But the New Orleans Saints, we're looking probably cornerback probably or
they need another wide receiver.
They need another wide receiver. Jack Bash, yeah. I was confused, Greg, while we got some time, extending Alvin Kamara in their cap space was a little confusing to me. Did you agree, or did you think that was the smart move for them to do it?
I think that was just Mickey Loomis being crazy with the money again.
Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing.
This is what he does.
Like, I love Alvin Kamara, but then when I saw it, I was like, really? Because
where's the next Saints pick after this? Do they have a 4th rounder?
No. Yeah, they have it looks like it's a comp pick.
Yeah.
So they'll have a ways to go before they pick again.
Yeah. There goes Jalen Royals.
Jalen Royals is there. There's the other wide receiver to take.
Yeah, Jalen Royals, love Jalen Royals, plays outside but can play in the slot as well. He's got that 205, I believe, weight to him, so he's got a little bit of beefy to him, so he can fight through press man. He can break tackles after the catch and run is incredible. Route running's really good, can work on some of it a little bit, but he's a steal. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad he got healthy enough to be able to compete in the Senior Bowl and get his name out there and things along those lines. So that was great.
Look at that. And then the Bears were ready. And then I bet Anthony Russo is going to be on the ball here real soon.
Was that a snipe on Russo? I think it did. Is that Russo right there that said I got sniped? And wide receiver again. Okay, he was going to go wide receiver in Jalen Royals.
And the Bears take the smaller safety from the University of Texas, who was a former Clemson guy, Andrew Makuba.
Yeah. Yeah, some people, Sam Teets, if he's in there, said that the long speed is a question, but he's got that short speed. That's true. I don't really care much about his size. I think he's a
Yep.
ball hawk. I think he's got good IQ. So
And he will come up and stop the run.
and he is a hitter.
So
So
what more?
I have him.
What more do you want out of a safety? I mean,
Right, valid point.
you know,
Yeah, valid point. I mean, I think I have Makuba right in that 75 range, like at the fringe top 75. So that's right where I pick him. I
Yep.
wouldn't be mad if they took Makuba at 62 in Buffalo if we picked there. So 72 is exactly where it's at. I enjoyed that one. Good job, bear review per usual. Anthony Russo. Yeah, I thought he needs a safety. Am I right, Jim?
Say that again. The Jags?
He did go.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
yes.
he loves R.J. Mickens. Anthony is very high on R.J. Mickens, the safety out of Clemson. So you guys
Clemson.
want to talk about him for a little bit?
Greg, go ahead.
I've got him as a 4th round guy, but he's a good solid safety again. He's not going to be spectacular for them, but he's fine. I would have taken Sanker if I was going to go safety there.
I love Sanker. I love Ransom. And I think Ransom is my safety 6, possibly. I liked his game as well. But if you are in the chat, if you want to give us a nugget why you have him in that top, there you go.
Oh, look at that. We are flying.
Where's
I love it, guys. Absolutely love it. We are flying.
All right, there you go. Father is a former Jet. Love his skill set, even though Syracuse alum Andre Cisco is in the building. 6 foot, 200 pounds. Probably more in the nickel role or in that department, but I do like that Anthony Russo kind of put him out there. Head coach was a New York Jets pick, so keep it in the family sort of thing. I enjoy that too. So I love it. Put a flag down. Put a flag down.
Jack Besh goes to the Carolina Panthers. There.
Ooh, there you go.
Randall, that's the guy.
There's a guy that Bryce Young can find down the field. Hello.
Yes, and that makes opens up Xavier Legette a little bit. I hope that he's having a good offseason to get ready. But Xavier Legette will play on the outside with Jack Besh kind of opening him up in the power slot role.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of people don't like his route running because he doesn't separate in the proper way, but he separates more. And I'm not calling him Cooper Kupp, but Cooper Kupp using route recognition, understanding the cornerbacks or DBs, and then using his physicality and getting separation through that stem work. And he's always finding separation. So if you see a wide receiver that gets separation, but you don't think that he does it in your way, he still gets separation.
Yeah.
But kudos to him. He got the Senior Bowl MVP, if I'm not mistaken, because he had the game-winning touchdown at the end. And, he's been through a lot of hardship in the offseason. So if anybody is rooting against him, then you're not a nice person.
Yeah, you're scum if you're rooting against Jack Besh.
Yeah. Is Indianapolis on the clock now? Who is up on the clock? San Francisco. Oh, okay. San Francisco needs a lot. So what are we looking at here? Do they got to go defensive line, right? Are you looking at Joshua Farmer?
Farmer.
Man, I wish I said it like 2 seconds earlier because that was my guy. That was my guess.
So,
but you're right.
Dallas, do we think this is Demetrius Knight?
No.
Do you hope it's initials JC?
Yes. the Oregon defensive tackle.
Okay.
I don't care for Mozzie Smith. I can't stomach this kid who never learned how to finish at Michigan, and he was drafted in round 1, and it drove me crazy.
Yeah, but Joshua Farmer, he got a lot of hype. I had, about a month ago, I had him as an early 4, and I kind of just moved him into a late 3 sort of thing. A lot of people, Sam Teets, talk to Anthony Russo, Sam Teets. He has good explanations for it. But I I kept him in that late 3, even though he's getting hype in the second round. I like his game. I like his size. He plays at 310, kind of Buffalo style, but I think he's versatile at the 0 tech into 3 tech. I think he's good at run support. He needs to work on more pass rush moves to get through the guard, but
He
I
only
think he's
has
got a
one
high 7.
move. He only has one move.
It's just rip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
he rips, which I love the rip, and I think that's a great move on the interior. But yeah, get some swims going on, get some power in the bull rush. But I think he's got high upside, and his character, his interviews look great. I think he's very excited. Sounds like he loves football, which is one of the big things.
Yep.
Yeah.
So can you guys, as we have about a little bit more than 24 picks left, can you guys go through your best available, like alternate positions? So like Randall, do your best defensive tackles, Greg, do your best edges, and just kind of flip-flop positions
Yes.
and talk about maybe 2 or 3 guys that you have in your top 100 that are still available on the board.
For sure. I will go. Let's see. I'll go cornerback. Benjamin Morrison hasn't been picked yet. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay, so
Which-
Benjamin Morrison hasn't been picked yet, and I'm not sure. I don't think that the hip injury should really be that should go past this, but I understand
which is another good option here for the Cowboys would be Morrison.
for sure. But I think without that hip injury, he could be a top 15 pick. He has great zone coverage. He's a ball hawk as well. His 2023 tape was incredible. Then you have Maxwell Hairston. Obviously, his talent is top 35 quality. Great 4.3 or 4.29 speed or 4.30 speed. Super fast, can play man very well. While a little dip in zone, but he's great at both. You have Jacob Parrish, which is a big Twitter and NFL lover. He's a little short at 5'10", 5'11", I believe, but he plays really well on the boundary. Might move into the slot when it comes to the NFL, but he's quick. He has 4.37 speed, and I think he had number 1 or number 2 in bench for cornerbacks, which was fun to see because, at a 5'10" strong guy, that's great. That gives him a plus in that boundary area, and he is sticky coverage, and I'm a big fan of Jacob Parrish, so I'd like to see that. And then Darian Porter and Kobe Bryant. Darian Porter has the biggest upside. He was a wide receiver turned cornerback. NFL passer rating of 4.7 in 2024. Only had 15 targets to him, so he is a project, but the ceiling is there. And then Kobe Bryant moves super fluidly. He can play inside and outside, and he's a very reliable, technically sound cornerback.
I've got 3 edges who are still on the board. Ashton Gillott, the edge from Louisville, David Walker from Central Arkansas, and Oladejo from UCLA.
Oladejo's off the board.
Oh, is he?
Philadelphia.
Eagles took him
right?
at the end of round 2. He was the last pick of round 2.
Okay. So then my next guy after that would be Savion Jones from LSU.
Talk about Savion Jones.
Savion?
Yeah, I like Savion Jones too.
Yeah, he's built for the NFL today. He's got good initial bursts off the snap. He's got very good length. His functional strength shows up against tight ends and tackles. So he repeatedly demonstrates ability to hold his ground at the point of attack. He's got adequate power at the point of attack. He can handle single blocks effectively when he maintains pad level. Generally sound in setting the edge. That's something that he needs to improve upon. But that's what I have for Savion Jones.
I love it. Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything. I think Savion is a top 100 player. I have him in the later of the hundreds for sure. And then if we're talking tight ends, Elijah Arroyo has not gone yet, right?
Nope.
So in my top 100, which one's fringe, but you got Elijah Arroyo, who is a 5-star recruit. If injuries were not involved with Elijah Arroyo, he would be a first rounder for sure. He did good things in Miami. He is a pass catching machine. Got a bigger build to him. Had a great Senior Bowl. I have a top 100 on Terrence Ferguson as well. I think he is an all around tight end. Good blocker. Good hands. I think he can go well. Go ahead.
Fannin Jr. is not gone either.
And Fannin Jr. So yeah, I think there's really good value in tight ends at the moment for sure. And then wide receivers, you got Kyle Williams sitting there. I really like Kyle Williams' game. He's got really good route running. His 10-yard, I'm not sure what his 10-yard split was. I believe it was like 154 on his 10-yard split, and that shows on tape. His short comebacks or quick, he'll get 7 yards out and so quickly stop, turn, catch the ball, and run before the cornerback even realizes what happened. And then his run after the catch is just as impressive. But he can also win outside and press man. I'm a big Kyle Williams fan as well of Washington State.
Oh Lord! So who did the Cowboys trade?
I'll get you the details
Yeah,
in a minute.
To the Patriots. Let's see. What did the Patriots take before? Patriots at 4 took Abdul Carter, so they got their edge. And then the New England Patriots looks like they traded. Did they trade out of the second or back into the first?
Yeah.
Well, no,
The Patriots got Luther Burden. They went back
Yeah.
into the first and got Luther
Yeah.
Burden.
but the
Okay.
Seahawks, the Seahawks take Omar Norman Lott.
I like Omar Norman Lott is a very interesting prospect. The knee injury kind of concerns me. If I'm not mistaken, I heard it's kind of like a bone-on-bone thing, like a Tank Bixby
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
But his pass rushing is insane. He's not a great run defender, so he's a third down specialist, but
Bingo.
a good third down specialist for
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
Oh, that's value.
No,
Right.
Donovan Jackson's off the board.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
he's gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
so
well,
what?
there's
Stadium
definitely- but there's plenty.
ran. He went to Seattle at the top of round 2.
But there
Yeah.
are plenty of guards.
Okay,
and
so
tackles.
what was that trade between Seattle and the Cowboys?
Give me a minute.
Because I see we got a pick now, 92.
So Dallas traded. Did I see it in the chat? Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong message.
Okay, so we got 92 and then pick 137.
Thank you. I'm like looking in the chat and I don't see the terms of the trade.
Yeah. Well, I just scrolled down and I saw that we got a 4th round pick. Way to go, TJ. That's a good move. Good
There you
move.
go, TJ. Make Greg happy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Patriots still have good opportunities to go offensive line. I would stick with that pick and see what you can pull here. What we talk about in guards. Booker went. M'Bow went. Fairchild went. Let's see where my list is.
Jackson Slater hasn't gone. Luke
I was gonna say
Kandra
Jackson,
hasn't.
Miles Frazier,
Luke Kandra.
Luke Kandra. Oh yeah, good one. Love Luke Kandra, Cincinnati.
And who's going to take the shot at Willie Lampkin?
I know. I mean, he's a center. He's a center only, or a. I hope they don't move him into fullback. I would like him to get a shot at center. I think he's great anchor. I know he's small, bowling ball, but he can anchor. He showed it in the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
I believe he stuffed Landon Jackson. I can't remember who, but he had a good Senior Bowl. I give him a shot at center before you try and switch his position.
And Clay Webb is still out there.
Clay Webb.
So there's still some good tackles left, guards left.
All right, let's see. Who else? All right, let's go to. While we talk about that and way we did that, we went through our wide receivers. Oh yeah, let's go running backs. The value at running backs has got to be good at this moment. Taking it, we've only had 3 off the board. Ashton Gianti. 4 or 5. Omarion Hampton, Quinshawn Junkins, Caleb Johnson, Travion Henderson. So we're looking at Taj Brooks, Dylan Sampson. You have
Cam Scatabo.
Cam Scotabo. You have
Richard Smith.
Brashard Smith. I mean, he might be a day 3 guy, but I do like him.
Yeah.
You got Bayshall too,
But
and Bayshall too is my guy.
You also got to remember, Brashard Smith was a former wide receiver.
Wide receiver, right? Exactly. And he was one of the 1 out of 6 or 7 people that he did 2 different positional drills at the combine.
Yep.
Yep.
Damian Martinez and
Jaden
Blue
Blue
is still out there.
Yep. Jaden Blue, he ran a 4.3.
Yep.
They run a 4.31. He's fast. His tape shows that 4.31. Damian Martinez, he's 5'10", 224. He takes contact, and his contact balance is hard to put him down. I love that.
You could talk about those 2 losers from that other school up north.
Nah, well, those are day 3 guys, right?
Yeah,
but you got DJ Giddens. DJ Giddens is a very good running back. Devin Neal from Kansas, that's a very good running back as well. So I think there's some good value in running backs at the moment. And I think the Patriots could use one, if I'm not mistaken. Ramondre Stevenson is injury prone and up and down. They last year, I believe they put him behind in the depth chart for a little bit because he didn't produce for 3 years.
You know who I would actually love to see them?
Hit me.
Jaquindon Jackson from Arkansas. He would be an answer at the goal line for the Patriots in a big way.
And that's a Mike Vrabel guy too. I think Mike Vrabel would like that 6'2", 232 bruiser that Jaquindon Jackson is. And he's not a quitter. He had nicks and bruises and would take a series off, not a game. I loved everything about his outside runs. And he ended up acquiring, I believe, 900, a little low 900s, 920 yards. And Taylor Green.
So we had another switch here. It's now the Bears.
Oh, all right. Bears are cooking. But Taylor Green, the quarterback, took 20 less rushes than Jaquindon Jackson. So that's how much they split the running back duties. All right, so Bears. Let's see. Let's go through the Bears draft because they
just traded Braxton Jones away. Is there a tackle here that they're going to go get?
Definitely.
This trade to get the pick traded away Braxton. Okay, I can see this. It's a good pick by the Bears. I like it.
Very interesting. What was it? Straight up.
Wyatt Millum.
Yeah. Was the trade
77 and a 2026 third for Braxton Jones to the Patriots?
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Braxton Jones is worth 2/3.
Okay, so what seems to happen is that the Patriots believe Donovan Jackson was available, took the trade, gone, traded him out. So Patriots pick up Braxton Jones, correct? So he got he got a tackle. He got his tackle that he wanted, and in a trade and made that work.
That's fine to get 2/3 for that player. That's fine.
Agreed.
Yep.
All right. And the Arizona Cardinals now select Kyle Williams.
Awesome.
So Kyle Williams is going there.
I didn't want Buffalo to pick him, but that was who Buffalo wanted to pick.
That is correct. You're not a big fan of him?
Just going with the idea that this is predictive, I like Kyle Williams, but I don't think he's going to Buffalo. Yeah. Right? So focus on players that Buffalo has shown interest in, not what your board is.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's part of the point of the exercise.
Yeah, I think it's Kyle Williams.
Team is going to draft.
For sure. I mean, Kyle Williams, I really like him. I mean, he is a little bit shorter in that 5'10" area, but he's got the 190 pounds to him. He's got a little bit shorter arms, but he's explosive for sure. I think Buffalo really likes him because he plays out wide most of the time. And I think most consensus for Buffalo is that we need Keon Coleman to play the power slot instead of having to be the X. But I do like Kyle Williams. He has, for 5'10", which is nuts, because he fights through physicality so well on the outside, is that he has a 62% contested catch rate for 5'10". That's impressive. I think the only thing
I'm going to go back in time on Kyle Williams. Because
Go
there
for
was
it.
another Washington State Cougar wide receiver who was taken in 1978 by the Edmonton Eskimos up here in the Canadian Football League named Brian Kelly, who reminds me a lot of Kyle Williams, the same sort of height, weight. And Brian Kelly won 5 Grey Cups with Warren Moon as his quarterback. So there you go.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, so great pick. I agree. That was a great pick. Oh, Buffalo got okay. So Buffalo's got pick 80. All right, but great job by Arizona. That will help. So that will basically help Marvin Harrison Jr. be less than a downfield runner. He can open up his route tree while Kyle Williams kind of adjusts and plays on that outside. So you can move Marvin Harrison Jr. around. I think big things are coming for Marvin Harrison Jr. in year 2. I think a lot of people who say that his year wasn't great. Pretty sure he had nine touchdowns and 800 yards. Great first year. Being a little hard on Marvin Harrison Jr. there. And we got the Houston Texans on the clock next.
Yep.
Which, let's see, they went wide receiver. And then, let's see, what do they go next?
Who did they have?
Josh Simmons, nice. Good pick in the first round, Josh Simmons.
Yeah.
Then they went,
Hold on, I can pull it up. I didn't
They
realize.
went-
I thought you had it. So
that's okay. They
I'll
went
do it
Jaden Higgins. They went Jaden Higgins in the second. So they got their tackle and wide receiver. Good picks.
So they haven't done. Oh, they've done one offensive lineman. I would be really surprised if this wasn't trenches on either side of the ball.
Yeah, well, Josh Simmons will come in as a tackle, so beef something up on the interior. Am I right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If they, I don't think their interior offensive line was as bad as people said it was last year. I think that the Texans here go DT.
Defense tackle.
Who do you like here in the middle of round 3, Greg? That's on your board. Like Caldwell.
No, not in Houston. He's not needed there. No. Let me just see here.
Riley Mills could be in here. Jordan Phillips could work with his run defense.
Look at that. Okay, and I know who the Buffalo pick is. Buffalo's going Ty Felton.
That makes sense. Okay, so Elijah Arroyo in Houston, I think that is actually a good pickup.
Yeah.
Now they have a monster offense sort of thing. They got their tackle. Now you're going Elijah Arroyo, Dalton Schultz for 12 personnel, and then you have Jaden Higgins, 6'4", Nico Collins, 6'4". Like, you basically have a Arkansas Razorback starting basketball lineup. Insane. And then Ty Felton, so I'll talk about Ty Felton with Buffalo. I love that pick. Actually, my Team MBS, a quick plug for the Team MBS article, I did a 7-round mock, and I had Ty Felton going to Buffalo by trading up in the 3rd, which they pretty much did as well. I like Ty Felton's game. He does bring that little Stephon Diggs-esque back to Buffalo in his route running style. I believe Maryland didn't use him enough in the vertical game as much. They used him in the short passing.
Short passing.
Yeah, but his run after the catch looks really good, very twitchy. His route running is great, and then Buffalo will open him up more on the outside. I think he'll learn well with Joshua Palmer. I think they could have similar styles, so he can learn through that, and then be able to just get great for 2026 and contribute in 2025.
Peebles.
There he is.
Bengals.
There he is. David, talk about him. David is a huge Virginia Tech fan. If Alex Collins is in there, he is also a huge Virginia Tech fan. But we already talked about him. 6 foot, a little shorter, but has good weight to him. He had a good Senior Bowl. He's got good power. He's got maximum effort. He can push people back. His pass rush isn't the greatest, but his lower body power can push the pocket back to create chaos. Greg, what'd you see out of him?
Yep. He's a little bit smaller, obviously, than people like, but you described his games quite well there.
Well, thank you, Greg.
Yeah.
Where's Drew been? I know Drew's busy. I miss him.
Torrey Horton is now a Tennessee Titan. There you go.
There you go. Good pick.
Oh my God. They got
Yeah.
a 10 Raz guy.
Hey, Torrey Horton is slept on. I mean, to be honest, right around now is where he get picked. I hope he does get picked there because that's where his talent level is, even a little earlier for me. But his route running is incredible. His pro day, he looked really good in. Twitchy, again, a taller, twitchy guy that can go quick in intermediate and separate in intermediate and then take the top off. So you're getting a good one out of there.
I'm surprised. Will hasn't been able to trade George Pickens as of yet. He hasn't gotten George Pickens out of Pittsburgh as of yet. I'm surprised by that.
Oh, yeah, me too. I'm surprised he didn't try to ship TJ Watt either with that Instagram post with the deuces.
Oh, look at that. We've had a lot of picks go off while I was setting up all the times.
Oh, no, we're good. We're actually just at
Darian Porter. There he is.
Yeah.
The 6-year guy who really only played for 1 year at Iowa State. But hey, he's a good corner. There's no denying that.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, even when his 4.7 passer rating, he wasn't lucking into incompletions. He is rangy. He's got long arms. He is 6'1". He has that 4.3 speed, so he can stick on man. He's a good cornerback. The question is how much development and adjustment does he need when he comes into the NFL, right? Which it will be. It'll be some time.
So let's look at like some best available. Jared Wilson hasn't been taken yet. Does that surprise either one of you?
No, because the centers are being moved out by guards who could also play center, and that's going to continue to happen every year. Where
do you have him on your board?
Wilson,
I have him in my 80s for me.
Yeah, he's in my 80s as well.
Yep. He's a very good center, and he should be picked around this area. But, Greg, you are right. Well, I guess we'll call it versatility, but then we'll also say forced change. I don't know. It's hard. It's like it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what NFL teams take what tackles and what guards that the national media and Twitter and everybody analyze as pushing them in. Who actually does what we talk about, or who actually stays at their actual position is a good question.
Yeah. Because
anybody else that you see on this available player list that surprises you? No's been taken.
Yeah.
Lots.
I'm pretty high on Ashton Gillette, but I have him around here. So if he doesn't get picked in like the next 10 picks, I'd be surprised. I have Nazir Stackhouse. I like Nazir He didn't have a great 2024. He had a really good 2023. And I would be I've always been a Buffalo Flyer guy for Nazir Stackhouse in the late rounds. I know that our scout lord and savior for Buffalo, Dean Kindig, he is a big Nazir Stackhouse fan as well. So I think he'll be a value pick. I would take Luke Kandra in the top 100. What about you, Greg?
Yep. He's actually number 90. He's number 98 on my board.
Yeah. I'll plug in. I believe also that Andrew Armstrong, and I know this may sound biased because I am 5 miles away from the campus. I believe he is a top 100 guy right in that 100 area. I think he is being slept on, as well as Isaac Tesla. He plays a true.
Armstrong is 93 on my board.
There you go.
Tesla's 103.
Nice. Andrew Armstrong plays the true X. He was the only, which I don't use PFF grades, but he is the only wide receiver to get a PFF grade of over 80 against man and zone. And he is a better route runner than people think. A lot of people think it's just a vertical threat, but he's not. He can come back. He decelerates well. His ins and outs are great. He's an all-around guy, and he comes up clutch. On an Arkansas team that wasn't great, he still pulled 900, 1,000 yards, and was always Mr. Reliable. So that's my plug for Andrew Armstrong, if Drew Bands, if you're listening. Buccaneers are up. Let's see, the Buccaneers went, let's see.
They went Tyler Booker and
Who else
did they take?
Let's see. Oh, they took Caleb Johnson, right?
Caleb Johnson and
then
Tyler
Colton
Booker. And Loveland, yep.
Yep. Okay, so they
so
probably need to go cornerback.
84.
Yeah, they
Oh,
can go.
somehow pick 84 got removed. Is 84 Tampa Bay? And that, do I have a filter on or?
I do not know.
Right, because we go from 83 to 85.
Oh yeah.
You see, look, but you see this row? Did somebody hide it?
What's the
Yeah.
red box in the top left corner?
Yeah.
When you say the red box in the top left corner. Oh.
That's the only thing that I see different.
Yeah,
it was
this should be
unchecked.
pick 84.
Thank you. And this is your guy.
There you go. And Benjamin Morrison goes at 84, which is an insane value in my opinion. I believe he's my cornerback 7, even with the injury and things along those lines. So great pick by Tampa Bay. Great in zone, ball hawk, sticky coverage, and man, again, top 15 pick if he were not to have that hip injury. And I am hoping and excited to see him at that pro day. If somebody can get a video and have some fluid hips, then he could. Fluid hips in a video could go he could go top 40 if I'm not mistaken, right, Greg?
Oh yeah.
Like his stock could raise with one video. His stock could go nuts.
Yeah, Benjamin Morrison was my corner 3 coming into this year. So
yeah. Sorry, Halil.
All right. So now we have the Broncos.
Yes, and the Broncos. Do you think that they need do you think maybe they go Demetrius Knight here to take a linebacker? I would think they need a linebacker. Drew Sanders, unfortunately, didn't excel like I'd hoped for him in Denver. But do you think that's a need?
Yeah, that's a need for the Broncos. They could go wide receiver here as well.
Very true. They slow rolled Marvin Mims, and he's like one of my favorite guys. I hope that he has a good breakout year next year. He's electric.
Yeah, we got to see what they want to do here.
Yeah. Let's see. They could go defensive line. Definitely has to be. Do you think they need any interior offensive line?
Not really.
Yeah, me neither. Let's see. All right. So if we're looking at cornerback or linebacker, Chris Paul Jr. is still available. You have Demetrius Knight. Let's see, who else can you grab here if anybody's a fan of
See, so usually when I see a Denver
Kobe King,
they are looking for a linebacker. So like a Kobe King, Demetrius Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kobe King. That's what I was looking at.
Have they done a defensive tackle yet? Could this be Caldwell?
No.
It could be.
Stop mentioning that name, Jim.
Yeah. It could be CJ West.
CJ West would be a good choice.
Would be a good choice as well. I think those are my top 2 defensive linemen at the moment. Who else possibly?
And then there's value at corner. Let's talk about where there's value too, because Parrish is still available. Noel Williams is still available.
Right.
Some people have more safeties in the top 100. Like I think Josh on his board, there's still 2 or 3 safeties left that he had in the top 100. Like Greg, you mentioned Sankar. And then
Ransaw. Have Malik Verdon has a good following. I think Malik Verdon's a very good safety. And
I still like Tommy Hill from Nebraska as well.
As a safety or as a corner?
He could actually play either position. So
he could play both.
But again, who's the Jalen Reed, the other Penn State safety.
Oh yeah. And then we're missing somebody. Oh yeah, then we talked about Lathan Ransom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there you go. And Denver Broncos take Jacob Parrish. So as
They
we've
are.
talked about, Jacob Parrish, we're a big fan. Again, he's got super speed. He had one or two in the cornerback and benches, so that was fun to see. I think his testing was off the charts. A little bit smaller, so I'm curious to see if Denver were to take him. Are you putting him in the slot, or are you going to give him a chance to play boundary? And if he does not succeed at boundary, then you put him in the slot. I think he can play boundary
I think
in
he's
the NFL.
he could be fine at boundary.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was a great pick by Denver. And then we have San Francisco on the clock. Let's see, San Francisco. Let's try and go through there.
They went Connerly.
Connerly. They went Mike Green in the first.
Yep, that's been their 2 picks.
Okay. Okay, so they need some firepower. Let's see. Do you think they also need a linebacker, if I'm not mistaken? Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Demetrius Knight for a heavy hitter would be a really good pickup for them. So then they can get that front 7 some help in run support. I think that would be a good pick. Let's see. Who else? They have so many needs.
Is Stutzman still available?
Stutzman would be a good one. He's 6'4", 245, so that's a heavy hitter as well. I like that too.
Yep. And then there's Jeffrey Bassa.
Jeffrey Bassa. They could go edge. Yeah.
They might go edge.
That could be an Ashton July. I think David Walker would actually work well in San Francisco.
Yeah.
We're getting down to the. All right.
CJ West.
CJ West. Again, he moves well for 315, 318. I like he moves like he's 310, 308. He's got that agility. He can move laterally. He has a good amount of interior pressure as well as run support. I'm a big fan of CJ West. And I think he's right around here on my board. How about you, Greg?
He was actually pick 88 for me, so
there you go. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
All right. So next up here on our list, we have.
Wow, this is a good pick. Could you believe that Maxwell Hairston lasted to the end of round 3?
I can, because I wasn't that. Yeah, I wasn't as big on Hairston as everybody else seemed to be.
Okay.
But, and again, he does have those character issues as well. So, all right. So now we got the New York, I should say New Jersey midgets, but okay.
So we've got, at this point, we have, 14 picks to go. So we are flying. Right? Because, I was budgeting, 6 hours, and I think we're going to get this one done.
Everybody's super engaged, and I love it. The chat is going. I appreciate everybody in the chat. I mean, there's probably about 10 to 12 war rooms that are podcasting right now, talking through all these picks and stuff. So I appreciate everybody on and watching and things along those lines. It's incredible. And if I could actually do a quick plug before the pick, another draft professor in Jacob Roach and myself, I am helping him out, but he was the creator of this. And he is doing, his Twitter is @Roachism, ROACHIZM13. He is doing a first round mock draft challenge that you can email to myself or to him. If you look at his Twitter or follow one of us, you can send in the first round mock. It costs $5. Everything goes towards a charity that helps with autism and things along those lines. So every single thing goes to that. We are not taking anything, money or anything. And the person, he has a scoring system set up, and the person who wins will get a t-shirt of the draft player of choice that we will send you as well. So it's for a good cause. It's a lot of fun because, the first round, predicting the first round is probably just as hard as doing a March Madness bracket, but somebody's going to win it. and it's for charity. So if you'd like to, follow us on Twitter and figure out the rules and stuff like that and try getting it for a good cause.
Well, last year I had the first 3 picks right, and then the only other pick I ended up right because of the trades and stuff that happened on draft day. The defensive rookie of the year, Jared Verse. I had Jared Verse as my number 1 edge last year, and he was easily the best. I didn't understand why everybody loved Latu so much. Jared Verse had way better pass rushing moves, more moves, et cetera, than Latu did. But hey, that was everybody's opinion.
Yeah, I did like Latu. I will not lie. I did. I think I had them pretty close. And Latu, I did have Verse, I think in the top 10, but then Latu in the mid-teens. But that was because he was going through the medical stuff with his neck and things along those lines.
Yeah. But those are the only 4 picks I had right. Was the first 3, and then number 17 I had Jared Verse. Thank you, I got it right.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, so you get 4 right, and then you already got 1 right at Cam Ward at number 1. So everybody's got a head start that's listening.
Yep.
Okay,
And
so
yes,
we've got
I do believe
Giant-
the Cowboys do trade number 12 down if Ashton Genty is not there. I really do. It's just bound to happen. Whether it's Tampa at 19, the Cardinals at 16, I think the Cowboys will move down somewhere.
Agreed. I think that's smart, to be honest with you, with the Dallas Cowboys. You need to round out the team with good players. You don't need to hit automatic home runs unless it's Ashton Genty, because Ashton Genty on the Cowboys is way too much fun.
So, Greg, who do you think in that, let's say the middle third of round 1, so between picks 11 and 20,
Yep.
who do you think teams are trading up for? Because, everybody wants to trade down, right? Everybody in this mock wanted to trade down.
I've got a trade. Dallas
one?
goes down to 19. At 12, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Will Johnson, the corner.
That's a good one.
At 19, either Igbokwe or Golden will be there. And you know my feelings about Igbokwe. I think he is just the ideal number 2 wide receiver in this draft. So that would be my pick. And then at pick 53, as well in the second round, the Cowboys would end up with 44 and 53. At 44, I've got Travion Henderson already going. Trey Amos was an idea at corner, but again, now that you got pick 53, that's where I take Benjamin Morrison.
There you go. Yeah, see, that's a primetime draft for Dallas.
Cool. So
wait, Greg, did you already have a package in your head from 12 to 19, or Jim, can you free ball what a package would be for Tampa Bay to move up to 12?
Oh, I've already done that.
To me, it's expensive. The
gotta be,
one
right?
of the challenges, if you look, going from 347, so going from 278 to 347, that's 70 points. That's a third round pick. And in my opinion, in this draft, in the third round, I'm not going to give up a starter to get Will Johnson when I might be able to get Jahdae Barron at 19. Right? The drop off to me,
but
to
again,
go from Johnson to Barron
is a big. That is a big drop off because Jahdae Barron's size, limits him compared to what Will Johnson can do for you. That's the big drop off.
Yeah, Will Johnson, you 100% is here you go, your boundary, go be awesome. Oh, there you go.
So the pick is in. Demetrius Knight is a giant.
We talked about Giants filling up that linebacker role. Demetrius Knight is a great pick. Sitting behind Demetrius Knight, I love sitting behind Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns is that's like a terrifying thriller movie to have those 4 all in the box.
Really? Because I'm not terrified of anybody that midgets have on their defense. I'm really not.
You are not afraid of Dexter Lawrence.
Dexter Lawrence is the only guy that has any fear.
Brian Burns is good.
Brian Burns is fine, but they don't do well against the Cowboys. They just don't play well against them. Come on.
All right. Well, there you go. Jared Wilson's off the board. right where pretty much we kind of talked about in the mid 80s.
Yep.
Great pickup for the Texans as the center. I do think when you talked about the interior offensive line not being like judging them a little too harshly, I do think center was their problem instead of guards specifically. So I
Yeah.
think picking up Jared Wilson at the center is the correct pick there. Bengals.
All right.
Tight end? Would you go Terrence Ferguson here?
Well, let's see. Who did the Bengals take already here? They took Malachi Starks
Good pick.
and
James Pierce,
Tate Ratledge,
Aeneas
Aeneas
Peebles.
Peebles. Yeah, I might go tight end here.
Yeah. Or Rondé Gatson because you want more pass catching. Rondé Gatson could learn really well with who's their pass catching tight end right now? I can't
To me,
from Dolphins.
Cincinnati's invested a little. I mean, I realize Gadsden's listed as a tight end, but he would be used probably in the same role as Gesicki, right?
Gesicki, there it is. Yeah, he would. So
Gesicki can still block a little bit better than Mr. Gatson can.
Oh, there you go. So then you want somebody with a blocking like Terrence Ferguson or along those lines.
Yep.
Mitchell Evans.
Mitchell Evans would be a very good. Mitchell Evans would be a very good pick here for the for the Bengals.
And the Jacksonville Jaguars are complaining that the Texans sniped him. And my comment would be, if there's a guy you want, you got to go up and get it, right? Like everybody's trying to trade down. And if there's a guy that you see falling, you need to like go up and get him the same way. Like Buffalo really wanted Ty Felton. And there was dissension from yours truly that like the amount, if you look at what Buffalo gave up, like, I'm like, no, like it's too much for a wide receiver that's going to be 7th on the team in targets.
Yeah.
Right? Like I get that you like the player, but like, okay, the War Room wanted to go up and get him. So you have to be aggressive and go up and get the guys that you want. You have to. So,
but you already went up to get Trey Amos.
Correct. And I was saying, like at the top of round 4, I was liking what the board was going to look like. So
yeah,
right.
But again, everybody focuses in on the first 102 picks, Jim. You know this.
Oh yeah,
and that's what your War Room has done. They focus
because most of them won't be here tomorrow, so they wanted to make more picks today.
Well, there you are. See, right?
That was their logic.
Yeah.
Like Randall and I are in it for the long haul, but you know,
for sure.
we're a little different. So
Jim, you got to trade.
Your pick in?
You got to trade. Tennessee sends 103 and 141 for 90.
Okay, so it's Tennessee here.
Drew, who you picking?
He's got a guy. Like Drew knows to be aggressive and go up and get his guy.
Yeah. Who did the Titans take again? Let's see. They went Cam Ward. Oh yeah. Do you pair him up with
Restrepo?
Do you pair him up with Restrepo? I don't know.
They need more than one wide receiver.
Yeah.
They do. But there could also be a corner here.
Pick.
Okay.
Ashton Gillette. That is a much better pick for the. That's right. That is a much better pick.
Drew knows his stuff.
Oh yeah. So this is really cool. So I met Drew literally in line at Mobile. Like he was registering. I was just chatting up. He literally podcasted with us like 3 hours later. And then he was hanging out with like all the other draft professors in Mobile all week. He's been podcasting with us ever since. You can catch Drew 10 p.m. every Tuesday night with Parker. And then in addition to that, Drew landed a gig with a Jets podcaster, Boy Green. And he's with Boy Green every Monday morning at 7:30. And then you can also catch some of his writing at Stadium Rant. So that's my shout out for my guy, Drew.
Yeah, he rocks for sure. But Ashton Gillette, great pickup for Tennessee, great edge. Louisville, he was a big old staple at Louisville. Comes on at that 5-eye. He's strong and has good lateral movement. I like his inside moves. If he can rip an inside and get in between the guard and the tackle, that's what he does very well. And he's got some decent bend as well.
All right, so now we got the Ravens up here.
Wide receiver, right?
I think it's a wide receiver.
Yeah. I think we've said it every time their pick comes up. Let's see. They went Calvin Banks. Good pick to start there. Oh, there we go. Calvin Banks. Did they only have one pick?
Baltimore?
Yeah. Oh, JT Tulamau. That's the other one.
Yeah.
Okay, Calvin Banks and JTT. So that's an edge, yeah. So I would think.
Here's a perfect range for.
Baltimore didn't come into the draft with a lot of extra picks.
Yeah, but here's a perfect pick for Pat Bryan out of Illinois.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Is that
Good
a good
vertical
pick?
stretch.
Yep.
Is the pick in?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
But I'm just saying that would be the perfect guy for them right there.
yeah. Yeah, you can. It opens up Zay Flowers to make him on the middle of the field more. Put Pat Bryant outside X, vertical threat. Probably top 5 vertical threats in this draft class. I think that'd be a good pick. Oh, we got Dom C in the chat. What's up, Dom?
Dom. It's
Dom,
going pretty good. And
miss you, bud.
like I want to give Dom a couple shouts out. So Dom was on the Jets podcast and life happened and he had to move on, and he referred Draft Professor to Paul and Boy Green. So I was on that podcast once, and then I hooked Drew up with it. So Dom, that referral means a lot to me. Paul has came on a Draft Professor podcast. Paul is a character. Like, every once in a while you just meet like a personality that has it. Paul has it. So Dom, very appreciative of that. And Anthony Russo is killing it for the Jets right now. So let's take a quick look.
He is, yeah. Let's go over that bad boy. Hey, Dom, he traded back twice in the first and still got Membao. So he traded from 7 to 9, I believe, and then went back 9 to 13, and then still ended up getting Membao.
Yep. And there's his next pick right there. So Membao, Taylor, Mickens.
Yeah.
So that's the Jets haul.
Dom, let us know how he did. What's up, Yuri?
So Yuri wanted to come on and announce his picks.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I did. I wanted to do I don't have a draft war room.
Yeah,
everyone's
I love
got
that.
these sophisticated podcasts. So my draft war room has been a Twitter chat that I made just for the Ravens-centric draft.
There you go.
So with 91 here, the Baltimore Ravens will be selecting Brennan Broughton from Texas. He fits the mold of the 2 gapping defensive linemen that they like using. Michael Pierce has retired, unfortunately. And Brennan Broughton brings a lot of juice on the inside to be able to withstand some of those blocks that you'll see from Pittsburgh, especially with what Pittsburgh did in this draft. And then a lot of the other AFC teams, especially the Buffalo Bills, who, with all due respect, I know we have a couple Bills people in here and flying around. The Ravens need to get more physical up front with some of the defensive linemen. So Broughton brings that. The safety board got wiped. RJ Mickens is gone. Makuba's gone. That was really what I was looking at here at the 91st pick. And then receiver also gone.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Talk about your other picks. You got Banks and who was your second one again? Now, why can't they?
JT Tui.
Talk about it.
So with Banks, right? The Ravens lost Macari, so they don't have that swing tackle versatility anymore on the offensive line. So To me, Banks gives that if they need it in a pinch. Hey, we can kick Banks out the right tackle. We can kick him out the left tackle if Stanley misses games. But my plan with Banks, and the reason why I announced it as a guard pick, is because his ability to climb to level 2, his ability to move on a horizontal plane as a tackle. I think that can translate to guard. I know Greg didn't seem the biggest fan of he thinks he's just a left tackle, but in my eyes, in the Ravens scheme, especially with some of the pulling and the gap scheme stuff they do, Banks can do that. And then with JT, the Ravens don't have that. They have Tavius Robinson. Tavius can do some of the stuff in terms of being an
All
edge
right,
setter.
that's great. That's great.
Wait.
Because the
Let
Cowboys
Let
have.
Yuri. Hold on.
Well,
Let Yuri go.
Greg, let him finish, please.
Yuri, go.
With JT, right? With JT, the Ravens need that power rushing skill set back. They need that Pernell McPhee type player, and I see that in JT.
Yeah. I agree
and
with
hopefully
JT.
that can complement.
Yeah, I
But
think
go ahead,
that's a good
Greg.
pick. And no, you can let it marinate for a second because
No.
I think
Yeah,
the thing about Calvin
Greg,
Banks.
hold on. So,
I am.
Greg,
I am.
Yuri is an avid follower of our page. The Ravens fans spend a lot of time setting up their draft board in the simulator.
Yeah.
So I'm giving Yuri some time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
like-
fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
I think the thing with Calvin Banks when you're talking about Greg is what we were talking about. Calvin Banks is that just don't pigeonhole him into a guard. And what you mentioned was
Exactly.
you don't have the swing. You have him as a swing tackle / guard sort of thing. So you're giving him the option of being available at tackle instead of just forcing guard only sort of thing. So that's where the quandary was. So you said it very well.
That's my beef
You said it
about
very
Calvin
well.
Banks, and that was because of Dane Brugler, who moved him to guard early on, and I have no idea why he just said he was going to be a guard in the NFL. No, this guy can play tackle. He can play left tackle. That's what he's been his entire career. And yes, I do like this pick.
All right, now Greg, go.
Well,
Yes,
I was going
because-
to actually let's have Yuri make his pick so the draft keeps going,
He did.
and then Greg will circle back to the
Oh.
Dallas pick.
I mean, Yuri, you can hang out with us if you want.
Yeah, I'll hang out here for a little bit. So, like I said earlier, the wide receiver board is wiped. I really don't like a receiver here. Like Felton's gone. So now we're looking at like
what don't you
Jonas
like? What don't you
Sanker.
like about Pat Bryant?
His relative athletic score is really bad. And I watched him. I'm a big fan of Pat Bryant. Would I take him here? No. I think
Okay.
he's more of like a 4th round type of guy, but I'd take him with the 93rd overall pick in the draft. Probably.
So right now, are you saying that your wide receiver board right now is exhausted at this pick?
It's exhausted. It is pretty exhausted. As
So
soon as Felton and Horton went, I'm like, okay, well,
fair.
So now we're looking at like Ozzie Trapilo, Anthony Belton, who can play, who can maybe step in for Falele and be more athletic as a guard, like Luke Kandra maybe. Jared Wilson's gone. I would have been interested in him as a guard prospect. So we addressed the offensive line. We addressed the edge group. We addressed the defensive line. So now, like, we're really looking for refined skill sets. Jordan Burch maybe out of Oregon to be that like 3 to 5 Brent Urban type guy.
Yeah.
Are you not a fan? Are you not a fan of going to the 3 safety set that so many other Ravens people are?
Well, I am, but the thing is, like, there's no one here. Like, Makuba was the guy. Like, if Makuba was there at 91, that would have been the pick, and it would have been the end of the day. Like, Sanker, I like Sanker, but I think Sanker, I don't think Sanker fits. Like, maybe Ransom, is Ransom still on the board?
Yeah, he's still there. That's
tough.
the other guy I was going to mention is Ransom.
Ransom can fit the run really, really well, and the Ravens love that. They love guys who can come downhill. Ransom may not be the most rangy in terms of like backpedal speed, but in terms of like, hey, we need someone that isn't a liability in the run like Marcus Williams was. So I'm drawing out the pick here. The running back, I'm not at this point. Linebacker maybe. So with here at pick 93, I think I'm going to settle in with let's do it. Ozzie Trapilo out of Boston College. The Ravens are super thin on the offensive line. If you look at it as a pure depth standpoint, it's Rosengarten and Stanley, and they have no tackles behind them. So in my eyes, if I'm slotting Kelvin Banks as a guard until Ronnie Stanley's contract goes up or he gets hurt, and then we need that swing tackle presence. So we wait on safety, and I put in the chat earlier. I know I saw it. The rest of the mock draft, I'm operating as if Justin Simmons is a Raven. So
okay, there you go. Gotcha.
We traded for Juju Brents, traded away Mark Andrews. Maybe a tight end would have been nice there, but come back up tomorrow with pick 126 and hopefully maybe to be able to get a safety I like more in that range if you're more comfortable with.
Well, there you go.
As a Buffalo Bills fan, and and I know that our fan base sometimes has their differences, which is stupid, and I'm not a part of that. But I would like to thank you for extending Ronnie Staley or re-signing Ronnie Staley, because I know that Kansas City had their eye on Ronnie Staley hard, and I did not want him to go to Kansas City, so I appreciate you guys keeping him over in Baltimore.
You keep every Notre Dame Fighting Irish player you ever get.
That's right.
You don't trade away the Fighting Irish players. That's the bottom line.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, Jim. Or Greg, I'm sorry. Hit us with your crush. Hit us with your crush.
TJ listened. He listened to old Greg here, because Jamari Caldwell is a true nose tackle, something that the Cowboys need desperately, and this man will stop the run. That's what the Cowboys have needed for years. He's a great pick here for the Cowboys at the 92nd spot.
True nose tackle that drops that knee and run support. Very impressive the way he does it. But that still has a decent rip coming at that center. Can push him back and also swim past him. I'm again DT9 for me, and I'm a big fan of Jamari Caldwell.
Yeah, he was the number one nose tackle as far as I was after Kenneth Grant. To me, he was just the guy that I wanted to see wearing a Cowboys uniform. In a nose tackle form, right? That's what the Cowboys have needed for years and years, and they finally get one.
For sure, I love it.
And the charge, who's the Chargers guy here? You're getting Mozzie Smith and that other Schoonmaker idiot that the Mike McCarthy drafted from that school up north, and you're going to give us your next pick here. That's it, Chargers.
Let's see, Packers so far have gone Emeka Egbuka at 33, which was a good grab. So they got him established. Next one was TJ Sanders, which for their defensive line. And then did they have another one?
No, they had Maxwell Hairston.
Okay, so they did.
And now
defensive line, wide receiver.
They go to Ole Miss and take Jared Ivey.
Okay. If anybody would like to, I have a mid fourth to late fourth round on Jared Ivey. I'm not in the top 100.
I'm agreed with you.
Yuri, how about you?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm very big. Like, a lot of my analysis is on the relative athletic score, and he put up a sub 5, and the with him, I don't think the pass rush juice is there for him to like actually be able to go in there and play. Like, he's currently 5-tech skill set, body set. But at the NFL level, I don't think he's going to be able to take advantage of guards and or tackles to really make an impact. So I agree. Same grade, fourth round grade. I actually
have him at the top of the 5th. So.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, he's got the good length. He's got really long arms. He's a bigger guy. He can set the edge well because of his length and things along those lines. But he starts slow. Like, he moves slow. He needs to get a sack to start cooking. And then if he does that, then he does cook. Like, if I'm not mistaken, he took over the was it the LSU game that he took over for like a 2.5 sack game, and he was a big part of that. So, like, if he gets going, he gets going. But if not, then he's just blanketed the whole game. So I'm not big on Jared Ivey. He was linked to Buffalo for like a couple months, and I'm glad that he's not too linked to him anymore. But he's just not my style.
Yep. Sorry there, Price. Vernon Broughton was already selected by the gentleman on screen with us here. So
yeah.
Yeah, and for those that are using the spreadsheet, if you go to the drafted team player list, there is a list of players, and every once in a while we update this.
Yeah.
So, and if you want to know how this list got made and the order it got put in, there was an awesome drafted team event. I know Randall was in it, Greg, you were in it, I was in it, Jolene was in it, several of us, that was actually hosted by Will. So I just took the order of Will's draft, which is very random with how the event is run, and that's what the player list for this event is. So I thought that was pretty clever. So
yeah, definitely brilliant. Yeah, that draft the team. If anybody is watching that doesn't know draft the team, we had 22 people pick a full roster of 24 players, including a flexes. You had to draft from your left tackle to your right tackle. You had to draft your 3 wide receivers. You had to draft your running back, your defensive line, and everybody. So we went through about what, Greg, 520 players that we went through in that pool. So we can discuss about them. Yep. Which is a lot of fun. I got to draft Steve-O Klotz from Iowa State, the fullback. I love doing that. If you can search for his highlight reel, it's hysterical. So it's just fun to see those guys that deserve a voice and get their name out there.
So Ty Robinson is going to be the pick for the Chiefs there, Jim.
Thank you.
Nice. Good pick. Good pick.
Yep.
Him and Hutmaker over in Nebraska were a duo in that 3-4. Tree trunks for Thunder Thighs. He has lower body power like crazy. Definitely works in that G system as probably DT3. I like Ty Robinson. I think he's got good upside.
Nash Hutmacher, again, is a true nose tackle.
True nose tackle, yeah.
True NT. And that kid loves to play football. He just loves the game.
Okay.
Yeah,
so there's a trade in the works.
okay.
Indianapolis is about to trade up. Oh, yeah, and they're sniping at me. Good job, guys.
Good
job.
Right, so I wonder if Chris Paul Sr. is watching, but let's see. Chris Paul Jr. goes in 96. Is that 96?
96.
Pick 96. Chris Paul Jr. Again, I'm high on Chris Paul Jr. He's my linebacker 4. I think he is in that do it all. I know he's got a little short arms. Jim was fortunate enough to interview Chris Paul Jr. with the draft professors. It was a great interview. Bill Carroll was involved with it. Cole Plant was involved in it, so don't want to leave those guys out. But he answered a lot of questions well. He was really intelligent. He is a do it all. He can rush the passer. He can read and react. He can cover. He is a field general in that middle, so I think that's a great pick and a good value there.
Cool.
Okay, and then we got Vegas up next, right?
Oh yeah, Jim, it looks like you get an Indy jersey. Las Vegas Raiders. Let's go through their needs and see what they got. Jim, do you mind filtering through the Raiders and see what what we went through? Yuri, if you want to analyze this, what they went through, and then
they got Genti and Amanuari. That's what they've got. They need a linebacker.
Oh, so he sniped him with the linebacker, huh? Yuri, what's your thoughts on Amanuari? You're a Raz guy, so he got 10, right? So
yeah, he has a 10. He has a 10. So with him, I've heard a lot of people give him the Hamilton comp, and I don't think that's fair. I think Kyle Hamilton's a 101 type of guy. But with Amanuari, I really think a lot of people project him to the slot and the nickel, but he had most of his production in college as like a split safety or free safety. So as a Mo Rig replacement, I think that's a worthwhile trade up. You have to get aggressive. You eventually, if you're a team like that, you can keep stacking and sitting and picking, or you can do what the Raiders did in this draft and they go up and they get someone who is worth that upside selection, right? You have to swing for the fences. And then obviously Genti, Pete Carroll loves running the football, and Genti is as good as it comes in this draft as a running back. I would have waited, to be completely honest. I would have waited for running back, how deep this draft is at running back. But sometimes you like a guy, you want to go up and get him, and that's what they did. Here with 97 with the Raiders, Jeffrey Bassa maybe. I don't know if Stutzman's on the board.
Stutzman's still there. Stutzman's still there.
Stutzman's a good one. No wide receiver talk?
I think that's why I feel like waiting on a running back, because the receiver board, once you get past a couple, I mean, like you saw me with the Ravens, like as soon as Higgins went, I'm like, well, it's done.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna take a receiver for the rest of the draft.
I think
So
corner right now looks really good. There's a lot of corner.
You're probably right. All right, you got
Quincy Riley is available.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
Kobe
Cone,
Bryant. Kobe
Parrish,
Bryant.
no Williams.
Yeah.
Yep.
Watching this draft intrigues me not to take a cornerback early, right? Like, this is value at potentially a trade up in 109.
Bassa is incredibly soft. I
is that a
wouldn't
question
say.
or a statement?
Yeah, like, can someone
I
tell
did-
me on Bassa? I like him in coverage, but that dude is incredibly soft.
Has Harold Fannin been drafted yet?
Nope. Nope.
Could this be a quarterback?
Milrow?
So, if it's Milrow, that makes sense. I mean, because like Tyler Shuck probably shouldn't go to someone that they just extended, Geno Smith, like just extended. So with his age, I'd rather not think about 2027 when it comes to the Raiders. But Jalen Milrow, I think, would be a good one and could help with pocket passing in a veteran in Geno Smith.
They just extended Malcolm Kuntz, right? They gave him like a $12 million 1-year deal.
They did. Yeah. Which
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a really good year. Coming off the injury, I think he will. I think he'll have a good year in 2025.
Yeah.
Could go corner. Could go wide receiver if they like somebody.
The edge board looks pretty nice. If I'm one of these teams that needs an edge rusher, I might bump up here.
Who we got available? We have Bassa, or not Bassa. Who do we have still remaining in the edge category?
You got Sawyer, you got Q Robinson from Bama, you got I think David Walker still out there.
Yep.
David Walker. David Walker would be a great pick.
Yeah, he would. David Walker would be a very good pick.
Yep.
See who else? Jordan Birch has Jordan Birch been picked?
Nope.
Jordan Birch hasn't been picked. Q Robinson was a good one. APR still there, I believe.
Power Island still out there.
Baron Sorrell, Fadil Diggs. Fadil Diggs is like an outside linebacker role that maybe Las Vegas could use. Just drop into coverage.
There's a good answer. There's a perfect answer from Hallie's. How dare you, sir? Bassa has great lateral agility to sidestep blockers instead of blindly charging into them, but he's more than willing to crash into an ISO block or a puller. Yes, indeed. Now, I don't see him as soft.
Coming from the Australian, right? What time is it? I believe it's got to be like 2 a.m. for him. Still grinding. After yesterday, he did the same thing. Love Halil.
Yep. So,
Jack Sawyer has not been picked. Yeah, running backs.
Thank you for checking the chat because I'm going between windows, so I don't see the chat unless you guys tell me. Because I'm like looking, did somebody post the pick to Twitter before they put it in the sheet and stuff like that? So I appreciate you guys engaging with the chat.
It's only 3:17 in the morning for.
But yeah, Anthony Russo's right. Too many running backs are falling. There is value in the running backs right now. Taking it, only still have 5 have only been picked?
Yep.
So, man, we are looking at, you get such value right now.
Did I miss anything? Did Judkins get picked?
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Judkins got picked before Henderson. Yep. All right, there we go.
Yeah, the Bears took Judkins.
Gotcha.
Isaac Tesla goes in the top 100. I like Isaac Tesla.
Wow. I've got him. He's 103. I've got Armstrong higher.
Yeah, but great pick. I mean, he did not get the thing with Isaac Tesla when people look at stats is that Arkansas runs an RPO air raid. So basically, it's Taylon Green running or giving it to Jaquindon Jackson or on the outside is for one wide receiver, and that was Andrew Armstrong. Andrew Armstrong pulled in 1,000 yards. He had a great year, but there wasn't a lot of targets for Isaac Tesla. He came from JUCO, played 2 years in Arkansas, had 0 drops in Arkansas. He starts in the power slot, but can go out wide, can beat press man, and just like Azuri loves in the RAS score, he was close to a 10 as well. 6'4", 214, can body people in press man, and he has a 39.5-inch vertical. He's got it all. He'll take a half a year to a year to adjust to the NFL, but he's got a strong workhorse mentality. Figure it out, and he'll be great. Good pick by Las Vegas.
And the Vikings did take a safety to help old Harrison. They took Ransom.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think that's great. I mean, again, Jeff Barnes on Team NBS Media, who is a past DB and in the league and everything along those lines, has him at safety 5.
You mean Jeff Barnes?
What did I say? What did I say?
I think you said Jack.
Did I? No, I
Yeah.
had to say Jeff Barnes. I don't know. Probably because we're talking about Jack Sawyer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good pick there by Minnesota. You pair Harrison with Ransom, and you can the Brian Flores run defense safeties are important because you can put those guys down the box. So you put Ransom, you can put Phillips. Gives you a lot of options there in terms of the ways you want to show looks pre-snap.
Yeah.
So I've got the last pick here.
You do. So,
Wow.
Is this the last pick?
No, it'll be the Lions.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I got you. Oh, man, we're almost done. 3 hours flew. This was fun. Yeah. All right, New York Giants. Wide receiver? Did they take a wide receiver yet? I just want Malik Neighbors to be happy.
I haven't seen Brock today, so I think this would be the Rams' first pick today.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they made that huge trade. Huge.
Yeah. What was the trade?
It was 26 and some pick in the 90s for Trey Hendrickson.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I was.
We thought that was an overpay for Hendrickson.
It was because the Bengals owner or GM DM me is like, "Do you want Trey Hendrickson?" I'm straight up like, "I'm not even going to trade my first for him, so no."
Yeah, there you go. Problem solved. Conversation over. Let's see.
Okay, so Brock is here. So we are waiting for the Giants.
Yeah.
So Yuri, what kind of draft content do you make?
So
go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah. I usually do about 4 or 5 interviews in the pre-draft process with a couple of people that are Ravens centric that also follow the draft as closely as I do. Currently, next week, I'm slated to interview a prospect, a receiver out of Vanderbilt, and then we are just doing a couple of interdivision rival interviews, and yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. On the timeline, always posting about players, mock drafts on my Twitter, Yuri_Ravens. That's about it.
Nice. Let's see.
Love the draft, love the process, love the start in September and the way that prospects go up and down the board. It's very interesting.
It is. I agree. Have you are you in the Baltimore area? Grew up as a Ravens fan?
I did grow up in Maryland, grew up in the Baltimore area, went to so many Ravens games, and then just recently moved down to Florida. So
Very cool.
there is a following out here, and hopefully this next year when the Ravens play the Dolphins, I'll be able to get out to that game.
It's awesome.
Ty Trin, the safety from Villanova, is also a Ravens fan.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I asked him specifically, had he gotten that Kelly Green disease because he's up there in Villanova? No. He's a Ravens guy. Thank you very much.
He was a
That's
great
good.
interview.
Okay, so John, if you're listening for the 49ers, I'm about to time the Giants out. So I'll make this 9:26.
Sounds good.
It's going to be 9:30. So we are.
Is there any Ravens backers bars where you are, sort of thing?
Not yet. Honestly, I got here in January, so I haven't done as much exploring as I'd like in terms of that yet. I think once the summer kicks around and football season starts getting going, I'll get more into that.
Where are you in Florida?
The Panhandle.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
So what happens? This Giants guy times out. Are we gonna make the consensus pick here or what?
No, he's about to type it in the chat. I see him.
Perfect.
He's
there
here.
We go.
And it's funny because I met him in Mobile. He was sitting right by me and Bill Carroll. Yep. Another wide receiver.
He goes Deontay Thornton from Tennessee. So Deontay Thornton is a very fast, tall wide receiver, and to me, that's kind of all he's got, in my personal opinion. He takes extra steps at the stem if he's moving inside or outside. Deceleration's really not quite there. But if you are looking at the Giants with Malik Neighbors on the outside and then Deontay Thornton on the other side, then you're kind of splitting the safeties and leaving somebody one-on-one. So either Thornton can win him with speed or Malik Neighbors just uses his talent. So I think that works well, especially with Wendell Robinson and Darius Slayton to fill the rest of that role. It's a finished piece for the wide receiver room.
And there goes Harold Fannin Jr. to the Niners.
All right, you talk about him, Greg.
Okay, if you don't watch that 2023 tape, you don't know who Harold Fannin is. That's the bottom line of Harold Fannin. I don't care what anybody says about his size. This kid understands how to block. If you watch that 2023 tape, he understands how to block. So don't worry about what you saw of him in 2024. His 2023 tape tells the story of who Harold Fannin is. That's the bottom line to Fannin.
And
the chat likes that pick too. So the Twitter chat for the event loves it. I love it too.
Yeah, next to George Kittle, like learning on George Kittle, I think that's great too. I think that's a great fit for him.
Yeah, in the Shanahan offense, it would be a good plan.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not a huge Shanahan family guy and all that. I'm not a huge fan of Shanahan. I'm sorry. What he did to Steve Wilkes 2 years ago was just criminal. I don't care. He threw that man under the bus needlessly. Yep. That was not the defense's fault.
So, a couple questions. Would you use Fannin if you're in a Shanahan offense? Are you going to use him more like Kittle or more like Juszczyk?
Juszczyk.
More like Juszczyk.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now is this Brock? This is Brock, right?
Brock.
Yeah. Hey, Brock.
First pick of the day.
Make it count, Brock.
If you take the guy I want, Brock, you're going to be punished like you wouldn't believe, and you know it.
Yeah.
What position are you thinking?
They have to go linebacker or they have to go DB, I think.
Yeah, it's either going to be a corner or a linebacker, I think, for the Rams.
Okay.
And I'm not picking either one of those positions for the Lions.
Dang. Maybe Bats would be a nice spot here. Rams love those coverage linebackers.
Yep. That'd be a good one.
Would be a very good pick here.
Could it be receiver?
Jack Sawyer.
Wow.
I mean, value pick right there. I mean,
Greg, I feel like Greg wanted Jack Sawyer, right? Or no?
No. I was much more the JTT guy than Jack Sawyer. But Jack Sawyer's
still good. Like, this is a value pick.
That's right. This is a value pick. Yes. And the last pick will be wide receiver Nick Nash.
Oh,
Lord.
Okay. So let's have a conversation about that, because I don't think he's a third round pick, but his ceiling is there. Quarterback turned into wide receiver.
Yep.
His numbers are gaudy, but it was in San Jose State. You don't have like I'm not saying that Luke McCaffrey is a bust at all because he had some good flashes and he needed a year for sure because he was also a quarterback turned wide receiver. But do you have any fear in that, or do you think that
Nope.
he's a better Luke McCaffrey?
I think he's a better version of Luke McCaffrey.
Nice.
Nash,
I think it's
Nash,
possible. Yeah.
he played so well for Sacramento State. It was not even funny. And again, I don't care what school these kids go to. As I said before about Charles Grant, it doesn't matter what school you go to. If you can play that position very well, I want you.
Yeah.
And Nick Nash plays wide receiver masterfully. And guess what? He can also throw that football because he's a quarterback as well, right? I mean, come on. That's it just makes too much sense.
Yeah,
I like that. Go ahead, Yuri. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm with you there, Greg. In terms of the small school knocking that people do, I don't think, to me, it really doesn't matter anymore. You can see physical traits, whether it's against D1 or D3 or D2 or
Right.
FBS or FCS. You can recognize physical traits through film, and with Nash, I think there's so many receivers all time that have been from quote unquote small schools that have worked out just fine in the NFL.
Yep.
I'm there with you.
Yep.
Nash is very, very physical downfield in terms of the way after the catch he plays. And you think of the Lions, and I know it's probably overblown, and I'm sure if you're a Lions fan, you're tired of hearing about biting kneecaps, but definitely fits the MO, fits the mold. And that is a very nice pick there at the end of the look. And this is what I was saying earlier with the receiver. All these receivers are going. I'm sitting there at 93, and I'm like, well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to me, he would also fit in very well because Jameson Williams isn't going to be there anymore either.
Yeah, he won't. You're right about that. Buffalo. Yeah, I assume that they won't give up the money for him based on Amon-Ra's contract and who they're going to have to pay in the future and things along those lines. I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's why Nash is a perfect pick here at the end of that round. I don't care that he's 102. He's a perfect fit for what the Lions need.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I like that. Yeah, I like that. I can't really say anything about it, even though I said that he's not really an end of third rounder, but I think the fit's there, and that makes a whole bunch of sense.
But
and another thing too, real quick with this draft is I feel like we're going to see. To me, it's not we'll see these players go higher than they quote unquote expect, and to me, it's not a reach because of consensus. It's these teams finding fits for their system, and that's why we see players go higher because
100%.
teams recognize fits for their system, and that's what they value more.
And again, this is the Lions who took Jahmyr Gibbs at 8, and then they took Campbell, the linebacker, at 20. Hello, who does that? Who does that in this league this year? Well, it was the Lions who did that. It worked.
Yep. Good points. Good point. Yeah, I love that. All right. Well, yeah. Day 2 has been completed, which is a lot of fun. I hope everybody had a blast. I had a lot of fun. Yuri, I appreciate you jumping on. Me and Greg were having a good time, but you were a great conversation.
Yeah, I appreciate the draft professor. Excuse me, having me on. He said it was unprecedented that someone came on and did their picks.
So here's the issue, right? Because a lot of people have asked to do what you did. And the issue is the logistics of getting people on and off the podcast. I have seen other 32-team mocks try to do that, and it breaks the flow of the event. So if you come on and you stay on and the event flows, we're getting a lot of compliments on how this is formatted. And we're getting people that are not affiliated with the mock watching our mock. So the goal is for this to be good content. And everybody, like you're helping everybody here make great content. Whether you're running a war room for the 49ers, running the war room for the Bears or the Dolphins or the Bills, everybody gets the benefit if we do this effectively as a group. And Yuri, I know that Jin referred you to the draft professors. You've done a couple of the 32 GM mocks on Fridays before this. So I'm happy to have you involved, definitely. So thank you for doing this. Why don't we do one more commercial So Yuri, let everybody know kind of who you are, how they can follow you, and we'll kind of go around the room.
Yep. So you can follow me on Twitter at Ravens_Yuri. Scott, other way around, Yuri_Ravens, or Ravens Way Podcasts on YouTube. Definitely will be going live on the draft night, and we'll have a couple more streams going on between now and then. I'll be back hopping around on Twitter for day 2. And like I said, appreciate you having me on. And I'll let the next person go.
Greg.
Okay, well, teammbsmedia.com on YouTube and X and all that fun sort of stuff is where I'll be all 3 days of the draft. We're live. Jeff Barnes, Bill Carroll, and myself. Ajmer Prasad will be hosting night 1. I think Randall will make an appearance there. Randall.
Yeah, I got a nice Ashton Gianti shirt for it too. I can't wait. I got 3 shirts, one for day 1, day 2, and day 3. So
there you go.
Gianti would be rocking day 1. I'm excited.
Well, there you are, the Genty shirt. I of course will be in a shirt and tie on the first 2 days, and then Saturday we go t-shirts.
Oh, I didn't know there was uniform.
No, not for you guys. Not for you guys.
I know.
Not for you guys. Yes, TJ, you did a very good job by trading back and getting us a 4th round pick tomorrow. TJ, you did a great job. He also listened to the old guy here and took Travion Henderson and Jamari Caldwell. So hey, this old guy's a happy camper with TJ. And yes, getting a 4th round pick. Oh my Lord, that's a beautiful sight.
There you go. I love that.
Yeah.
Cool. Randall.
At Randall Slifer for Twitter and Blue Sky. You can reach me there. And then I do almost 99% of my podcasting with Jim over here at Draft Professors, which I love. And I do writing with Team NBS Media. I do Arkansas Razorbacks, Buffalo Bills, and everything in between with some entertainment. And that's where you can find me.
Yeah, you don't have any Buffalo Sabres content this year.
Not until they stop being good at the end of the year. So then we get like a 7% chance at the 1st round pick every single year. Like come on, Greg. Hey, we're almost done. You gotta make me angry.
Yeah. Well, hey, I had to because you sniped me in the DAT more often than anybody else did. So there you go. Yeah. I had to throw in a little bit of a snipe back at you.
Fair point. Yep. Fair point.
So there's a lot of you watching. The best thank you that you can give is hit that subscribe on YouTube, please, and thank you.
And the like. Okay. And the like button.
Yep. We have, like I said, the last night and tonight appear to be the 2 most watched podcasts for the Draft Professor, and we've had some pretty high watches, but we're killing it, and we're killing it because of everybody that is putting their picks in on time. I think today we had 2 picks timeout. Yesterday we had 1. So we're averaging like 1 pick a round. Yeah. Now, tomorrow is what separates the amateurs from the almost pros, because tomorrow is going to be day 3. Tomorrow's going to be day 3. The pick timer is going to go down to 2 minutes. We're going to have Anthony Russo and Will on the podcast, and it takes a lot of work for Yuri, Randall, Greg, the amount of work that they had to put in to talk about every single player that you picked. My hat's off.
And players that have not been gone yet.
Yeah.
As I reminded everybody earlier, Deron Bland, a 5th round pick. Bedford, a 6th round pick. These guys are superstars in the NFL. So if you don't know what you're doing and you only concentrate on those top 102 picks like ESPN and those other clowns all do, this is where I'm serious.
Greg, I agree.
Let me finish. Let me finish, please. Let me say my thing. Because tomorrow, okay, you guys are in for a treat. How many podcasts cover the top 100? That's what we did yesterday and today. Tomorrow is where you as a fan will be able to learn about players that no other podcast is going to talk about. Will and Anthony are among the best that we have. And no matter what 7th round pick comes up, I have a high amount of confidence that Will and Anthony have them on their board.
Right? Oh, absolutely.
So There's a lot of people with like a top 150 board, so they could do like day 1, they could do day 2. Takes a special person to do day 3. We've got 2 of the best, Anthony and Will. I am looking forward to working with you tomorrow. Yuri, it's actually great to see on camera. Like I said, the Ravens did an awesome job, the Ravens fans, between you and Jen and a few others, of setting the board up in the simulator. So if you use the Draft Professor simulator, you're drafting against Jen and Yuri's board, okay?
Yep.
And that's the idea of the simulator, a Draft Professor. The simulator will behave as though the fans are picking, okay? It's the way that I design the algorithm. So if you haven't looked at that, check it out. But we have been going for 3.5 hours. We just did, 65 picks or something like that. Actually, I think it was a little bit more.
It was like 75?
68. I think it was
68.
68. 68 picks
No,
in 3.5 hours.
33 to 102.
Yeah, so I think I was maybe it was 69.
69.
Yeah.
Look at
There you
that.
go.
Okay.
69
There you
pick.
go.
Yeah, something
was
like
that?
that. Look at
Tate
that. You did that
Rallich's
math in
number?
your head.
Tate-
Greg,
Tate
doing math
Rallich's
in your
number?
head at your age, that's impressive. And I'm
Well,
only a few
hey.
years behind you.
Hey, come on now. Just because I'm a baby boomer doesn't mean yeah, that's right. I learned how to do this upstairs, not with a damn calculator, you bunch of kids.
Whatever, Greg.
I was never allowed to use a calculator even in high school. We were still not allowed to use a calculator in high school. For chemistry or
wild.
math, we still were not allowed to use a calculator.
I
So
won't
that's
ask
how
you.
old I am.
I won't ask
Yeah,
you the year.
But in fairness, when Greg went to school, they had to use candles because light hadn't been invented yet.
That's right. That's right.
So,
Calculators were real.
but at Draft Professor, we have daily draft content. We're going to be coming at you with 2 podcasts every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, leading all the way up to the draft. So hit that subscribe, hit that like. We're coming at you with more podcasts next week. There's
And
52
even after this draft is over with and all that fun sort of stuff, guess what? We've got 2026 draft and we're ready to roll.
Yep. We will have daily draft content even after the draft because we're already working on 2026. So
Yep.
for the 52 podcasters at the Draft Professor, special guest Yuri, special guest Greg, my regular main guy Randall. Like Randall, I couldn't do this without you. It's awesome
Appreciate
to see
you,
you
Jim.
again. Thank you, everybody. Have a great Friday night, and we'll see you 6:15 p.m. Eastern tomorrow for rounds 4 to 7. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.